Solgar. What's up, Black Sparrow? How you doing, man? What's up, Sean? When is Season 7 coming out? Oh, easy question to answer. So Season 7 will be coming out January 21st. Now, as far as the PTR, we don't know that date yet. It should be like within like a week that we'll be able to test Season 7. So it's going to be kind of cool. I'm excited to actually test that out. What do we got, like 6 minutes? Is that enough for a Nightmare Dungeon? I'm going to just go like ding-dong around Helltide for a little bit. Right, so let's go and pop up the YouTube Diablo stream. I need a we gotta be streaming a stream. All right, we got.
Diablo himself.
We're waiting for it. Wait, chat is disabled. What? What? Why would they disable the chat? Are they disabling it in Twitch as well? What, dude? That's why would they disable chat? Is it like disabled on Twitch as well? Why would they disable chat? That seems a little bit weird to me.
How's this booty make that katana flip?
Whoa, whoa. Yo, thank you so much, Black Sparrow. I appreciate the sub, Reno. Here's your katana flip, Reno. Arigato, my friend. Much, much appreciated. I don't know about you guys, but I honestly do not like it when any company removes the chat. Like, come on, that's... Like, that just, like, is like, nah, we don't, like... That's so bad. They really need to like rethink that, man. Yeah, we're waiting for the new Campfire. It's in 5 minutes. 5 minutes, man. 5 minutes is when the new thing comes up, and they don't even let us chat in the thing. Oh, it's already gone, anyways. Well, we can mess around with this, anyways. Dude, that's very concerning to me personally. And does anyone else feel that way when like a company like removes like the chat? That's still bugged? Wow, that's crazy. The Screaming Hellvein doesn't even drop? I've mentioned that to them so long ago, man. It feels bad. Like, look at this. Screaming Hellvein. It doesn't even drop the correct stuff still. We're supposed to get the Forgotten Souls from it, but it doesn't even drop them. Like, that's so weird. This is after the Season 6 mid-season update, too. That's awkward, man.
It's what I do.
It's very concerning, man, to say the least. Like, and I want the game to do well. I genuinely do. But wish there was another way to get cooldowns. Is there anything to make that go faster? Wait, what? The Helltide chest is still up? What? Dude, this is like still super bugged, man. What the heck is this? There's not even a there's not even a Helltide. I don't know. And then look at this. We can open up the gifts. Like, you can still open up the treasure chest, but the Helltide's not even up. Dude, I don't know what happened with the most recent patch, but there's a lot of newer bugs, man. That's crazy. Dude, what is going on with this game? Like, I hope they can get these things fixed, though. I mean, this one's not that big of a deal. It actually benefits you, because, like, if you have the cinders. But the cooldown on this is actually still pretty long, though. Just like one-shot everything. 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes. This is the new Razor Wing build. It just came out yesterday. I don't have the build guide up for it yet, but I'm going to work on it today. That's what we're going to be doing. For sure, man. For sure. But we need the... What did that? It did like 0 damage. Why? I don't know why it did 0 damage over there. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to masterwork the Harlequin. We need to get more cooldown reduction as 23 right now. Now, am I going to reset this again and again? Probably. It's just not fun to reset the masterworking. I really feel like that's like painful in this game. But it's only, what, 2 items? Oh, wait, we have 1, 2. Oh, we need to get this one. Just needs 1 more. So we get that up. Sure, it could be kind of cool. But right now we're waiting. Oh, we can go grab this reward. We got 1 minute left, guys. In 1 minute. Looks sick. It actually isn't a really strong build, just to give you realistic expectations, JG. What you should probably look at is Quill Volley. If you want like the best build, Quill Volley or Gorilla Fist, those are really good builds. This one, if you want just something new and you want to just do World Tier 4, that's fine. But if you're looking to do like high level content, oh dude, skip this build. It's pretty bad. It just got like super buffed, but it doesn't matter. It still sucks. It's just how some of the skills are in this game. Okay, I don't really need any of those. All right, 30 seconds, boys. 30 seconds, and the new update, Campfire, is coming out, man. All right, I'm gonna probably just exit Diablo for this. Yeah, let's just exit Diablo, so it doesn't like use up my computer's resources too much. All right. 13 seconds, guys, for the update. Here it is, man. I don't know why they disabled chat, though. That to me, that's very, like, anti-consumer. All right, guys, let's start the Campfire chat. Unfortunately, chat is disabled.
Diablo 4 Campfire chat. We end with a creepy eyeball. We were just talking about.
All right, I want to see some big updates, man.
Patch 2.1 PTR Campfire chat. I know we were just here last week when we were talking about the mid-season update, but this one is kind of like the big one because we're
Season 7.
Everything coming with patch 2.1. and Season 7.
Yeah, that's all I care about. We need some big updates, man.
Appeared on prior Campfire chats. We were going to have Adam Jackson. He is unfortunately not feeling very well, so we hope he gets better soon. And we do also have another guest here who is live from Albany, Blizzard Albany, and that is Mr. Dan Tangway, who's going to be talking a little bit as well about what's coming up for patch 2.1. And he's showing off his red Diablo 4 jacket. We have our
is chat enabled now? Because I'm really concerned, like, if you're disabling chats on a stream, that's...
Models. How are you doing? Hopefully you're good.
Not looking too hot, man. Like, you know, just keeping it real.
Not sure if you can hear.
Why would they disable chat?
But either way, a few things that we do want to talk
maybe
about.
Maybe they'll tell
We
us
do jump
why.
into everything. Obviously, PTR is coming up soon. We are doing this stream a little early this time, mainly because the Thanksgiving holiday is coming up here in the U.S. And so we are going to be talking about some of the contents before even the patch notes are ready. We do plan on having a blog immediately after this stream, so players can actually check out the blog and read a little bit more about
That's
what
good,
we're
that's
talking
good, that's
about
good.
today. But the patch notes will be available next Wednesday for players to actually check out. So it'll be before the US holiday here, so everyone can kind of dive deep into the patch notes for PTR. PTR is currently planned to start on December 3rd, so that will be after the US holidays here for Thanksgiving.
Wait, is that this? Wait,
so
what does PoE 2 come out again?
Is coming up for players to kind of jump into. But I know what we want to do is really just dive straight deep into all the new stuff that we do want to talk about.
Oh, it's 6. Okay, we're good. We got 3 days of it. All right.
We do want to chat about is just Season 7 and what that's
Yeah.
gonna be.
Just
So
show us Season
we're
7.
gonna
They
jump
probably don't
over
want to
to
get cooked. Oh, with the
Dan
comments. Oh, we could
and
also...
Albany,
Oh, you can't
to
do...
kind of walk us
Dang, they
through.
don't let
So,
closed
Dan,
captions
you
go
wanna
either?
Take over.
Oh no.
Dan
Okay.
can't currently here.
All right. What happened?
So I don't know what happened. I mean, you know, maybe.
Dang, is the chat still
you know, that's
disabled?
how it's working.
Dang, it's still disabled. Like,
So instead, I guess we'll just start with classes.
You can't even-
first.
yeah, I just-
So, Mr. Charles Dunn, do you want to talk about class changes that are coming with Season 7? I know we talked a little bit about this last week with Adam Jackson. Just a reminder, Spiritborn, expect that to be addressed for Season 7, and we will actually be talking a little bit about that now. So, Charles,
Yeah,
take us through it.
absolutely. I love to talk about some of the changes coming to all the different classes in Diablo 4, as well as some broader, more systemic updates that are happening that kind of affect all classes equally. In a way.
Okay, let's check this out.
Yeah, so
all right,
like I said,
so class updates,
going through,
game updates,
individual
more to
class
show. I mean,
parts,
that's kind of vague,
seeing
but
some of the new stuff that's coming for a lot of classes. Let's start with the Barbarian.
okay, cool. Oh, we got new skills.
Yeah, so Barbarian
10%
is a
damage
class
increase,
that,
okay.
You know, we think a lot of the classes have been performing
Hammer the
pretty
Ancients
well
is what it's
across the
saying.
board. They're always a step under the Spiritborn, but Barbarian maybe a step and a half below, and so we're looking at a lot of buffs across the board for them.
Walking
here.
Arsenal got
Specifically
nerfed for
looking at
no
some
reason,
Hammer
by
the
the way.
Ancients,
No one
but
uses this
number up here.
anyways.
A little bit of a rework to the Walking Arsenal passive. Previously, it was
So it's doubling
the
it.
bonus was just 8%. Now we're going to be giving you a bigger bonus, and when you have all of them active, you're going to get more attack speed and some bonus crowd control duration, which we think really plays into that.
So it could help out with the bosses, I guess. If you build a
Additionally,
stagger.
we're also updating Earthquakes. That has been one of my favorite builds on Barbarian. Right?
So they're just
Seeing the
increasing the
Earthquakes come
numbers.
out
Looks like
everywhere.
50%.
Leafquake, oh, I absolutely love it.
So 30 to
the visuals on
45.
this is just top notch. So we're really we took some lessons from what we did on rogues in the past with their stun grenades power, where a lot of the legendaries that talk to stun grenades also had kind of this extra bit where it increased the damage of all of your stun grenades, so that you kind of got these synergistic builds with the various aspects all together. And we're extending that over to Earthquakes now here. So we're adding on basically.
There's
hey,
no
all of
chat,
these
by
ones
the
that
way,
talk to
guys. It's
Earthquakes just,
still
they
disabled.
increase
They don't
the
have it.
damage,
I can't show it.
all of them.
I wish, man.
Yeah, it's a little bit less finicky too, right? Because now it lasts after the earthquake expires, or if you
Yep.
leave it.
Okay, while standing in
Absolutely.
Earthquake and for
So
4
we
seconds.
think this would just be a much more.
A lot of these things are kind of like Diablo
comprehensive
3
build,
stuff, but that's
overall.
fine. Like it's
We
like
also got new legendary that talks directly to Earthquakes
Like
as well. Ups their damage and increases their fire, or turns it into fire damage. And I think this is really cool.
so I can mix it up with gores.
We're going to see some more stuff as we actually get onto the PTR, but I think Earthquakes and Hammer of the Ancients might be a build that you're going to be very interested in combining.
Well,
those
Hoda
two,
we
with
had
some
for
of the
like
stuff
4
you'll
seasons and it
see
was
come to
strong,
PTR.
but which is
All right,
cool.
let's
But
move on to the Sorceress. Sorceress, one of the key notes that we've noticed with Sorceress over
wait, this
the
is
whole lifespan of
bad.
Diablo
Wait,
is,
what?
Diablo
Now you
4,
can't afflict
is
burn?
that players often felt like they were pigeonholed into burning builds in particular. Firebolt enchantment is probably.
Are they just going to give it to us for free?
By far, because it was just kind of a free way to apply a very small amount of burning to enemies, but that was what you needed to turn on a lot of the passive.
Hopefully we'll just get it for free.
That'll
be- that's an upgrade for sure.
Powerful interactions, but we felt like that was making everything a little too homogenous. You felt like you had to do this in order to access.
Yeah, we'll be checking out PoE 2 as
And
well.
so we decided
Smoke
that
for
we
sure,
really
for
want
sure.
these burning synergies to really be benefiting builds that are dedicated to burning type builds, and not just ones who are splashing it in with Firebolt enchantment. And so with that in mind, we did a rework on the enchantment to increase the
Give us burn
burning
somewhere
damage
else,
from the
right?
enchantment and change it over to this, which has a healing component to it. And then we also updated a lot of those burning passives to really play better in the dedicated fire-based builds, rather than being something that you just want to splash into everything.
Yeah, hopefully there's a lot more build variety.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is one of the main driving goals of a lot of our updates is increasing that build variety, so you don't feel like you have to take this checklist of mandatory things before moving on to what you actually want for your build. So an example here on Devouring Blaze, you've got bonus. Previously, it was bonus critical strike damage against burning enemies, no matter how much they're burning for. So you just apply that little bit of burning, and you would get this. Now instead, you get a bigger bonus, but it's just for your pyromancy critical strike skills.
So we'll have extra skill points, but we lose damage. So we just lose out on the damage.
Big fire crits. Devouring Blaze is now even more valuable for those builds, and it's not something that you necessarily need to.
But maybe we'll get buffs
splash in other
somewhere
builds.
else. Okay.
All right, on to the next one.
Ball
We also
lightning,
did some updates
yes.
for
Let's see,
Ball
what do we got?
Lightning. So Ball Lightning, the previous upgrades, like kind of these.
So
these
30x.
Ball Lightning and Wizard's Ball Lightning were about stunning enemies or spawning some cracked energy with admittedly some kind of complex conditions. You had to jump through a lot of hoops to get these. One of the things we really like to do with a lot of these updates is simplify them down and streamline and really focus in on what the interesting factor is.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit more modular too, right? So there's more builds, the less sort of focused that initial step is on that skill.
Absolutely. So we've got the Mage's Ball Lightning here that now is just increasing its damage against stunned enemies. It's really that payoff for a lot of the lightning stun effects. And then
So that's a buff. You run Rybits to pull up the stun, you know.
Energy, just more consistent generation there. All right, on to the next one. We've got
a new item.
New uniques.
Oh, this is cool. All right, that's what I'm here for.
About Ball Lightning. So this is actually something interesting we're doing this season where we're making 2 uniques that are in the same slot.
Super Ball Lightning?
And
What?
We're going to modify the skill in a different way. So they will be mutually exclusive. So you can take either this one here, which turns Ball Lightning into
So it's a focus.
Kind of like a bowling ball, really. You send it forward, it goes pretty fast, and when it hits a target, it's going to explode and kind of splash outward. And I think this is really cool. It offers a switched up play style. So the way you're familiar with Ball Lightning, which was kind of slow moving forward, or if you pick
Slow. I felt like Ball Lightning was pretty fast, man.
You
You just TP suck everything up like a
So
vacuum.
we can go on and take a look at that one here in the next clip. Right. So a lot of the Ball Lightning builds.
Yeah, I'd rather play
we're
this.
using the gravitational aspect that causes it to rotate around you, and we've updated that and kind of reworked the gravitational aspect so that now that functionality is built into this new unique, and also has some additional bonuses to encourage this kind of play style.
So you get more damage per
obviously
each
the
Ball Lightning.
gravitational aspect that used to do this has been reworked into a new cool effect that you'll be able to demo out on the PTR as well.
It's like a fun trade-off now.
And honestly, it looks like the same though. It just doesn't
Yeah,
have
really
the ticks. It
helps
just
be a bit more build defining.
I like this way more.
A lot of the uniques is hey, you get this unique and
This
it
looks way
feels
better.
Like it's
So,
very,
Okun's
foundational to your
Catalyst,
build.
but it's just a
One thing
number
I want to
increase
highlight
though,
here is
right?
the inherent affix on this, right up near the top, that Ball Lightning can be cast while moving. This makes it a lot smoother to just be moving.
Yeah, why
around.
would you not take this one? The other one's like
And
outclassed
just keep
already.
it
I'll tell you
Ball
for
Lightning,
sure.
And you're not going to have to like stop like that,
You
very
can
short
cast while
time
moving?
stop.
Dude, I want
It
more
just
of
feels
these.
much
That's
smoother,
genuinely
and this is
pretty
one
cool.
that this build is just wants to be on the move.
Right.
Okay, cool.
And
I like it, man. New Sork unique.
All right, so let's talk about the Druid next. So this one, Druid.
Yeah, dude, Ravy's buffs, boys.
a lot of
Again.
werewolf updates. Season of the Werewolf. I absolutely love werewolf builds, and I think they've been, maybe a little bit behind the rest of builds over the course of Diablo's history. And so this season, a lot of our updates are really focused on building, making that build come up to par.
Yeah,
I'll
the
check for
pure
chat.
werewolf.
I really want them to have chat so I can kind of keep up and see what
Yeah,
people
a
are
lot of
saying
times
about
you
it.
saw some like rapid shape-shifting
But
builds, and those
still
are fun.
disabled,
those
man.
are great, but pure werewolf wasn't quite hitting the mark, and so that's what a lot of our focus is.
Well, it's because you need
Take
all
a
the
look
bonuses
at
from
some
the
of these
Druid, though.
updates.
That's
So we've
reason
got
why.
updates
Oh, we
to
got
the
Shred.
main
Okay.
core skill for these
Shred's
werewolf builds.
third combo attack is
Previously,
larger.
the Raging Shred upgrade was just a combo attack that applied some poisoning damage. So now it's going to still do that and apply a lot more poisoning damage, but it's also going to cause them to take even more poisoning damage for the next 5 seconds. So this is, your kind of finishing move on your combo or your core combo.
So the finisher
but then it
activates a
also
dot,
enhances
and then
all
makes
the
them
other
take more.
poisoning damage that you applied through something like rabies.
But the numbers show it shows 200%, but the number's lower.
We've got updates
I-
to Boulder.
I wish they
This
kept
isn't
that, like,
necessarily
congruency.
The werewolf theme, but still Boulder is a skill that we saw a good opportunity to improve on.
Poison Boulder.
We had 2 upgrades on Boulder in the past, the 2 choices, and they were both fairly similar. They both dealt with critical strike chance or critical strike damage, and we thought that was an opportunity to rework one of them to give it a different identity. And basically, the identity was Poison Boulder. Like just a giant ball of poison.
Yeah.
What does that look like, or what does that do?
Changing the damage type always helps sort of branch out and make it feel really different.
Yeah,
That
yeah, we
156.
really
I wish they showed off, like-
I'm not
like
sure if we
endgame
have
numbers,
a
'cause
video
it-
on that, I think we'll just have to.
For me, it's
throw
kind of
that on
vague, you know?
PTR.
Yeah, people will
'Cause-
see it on the PTR, but yeah.
Are you going to build a crit with poison? Because poison
Yeah,
is dot.
and so,
but Boulder has a lot of,
that
like,
will be-
Earth has
will be
a
very
lot of
cool.
crit
Definitely
built
check
in.
that one out.
This
It's
one
like
I'm very excited about.
they don't
because
understand
what how
a lot of the Earth stuff is
we
all
see,
based
like,
around
it's
crit.
always just generated
But then why would you
from
give it poison? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Puzzle
it was
piece does
always,
not connect,
just
you know?
generating some spirit, but you still do that. But now it gives you even more increased damage until you shapeshift out of werewolf form. So going back to what Colin mentioned about really focusing in on pure werewolf, that was an area that we felt, hey, we want to really reward you for staying in the werewolf form and really committing to that identity. And just making sure that felt like an appropriate payoff, and this is one of the areas that we're doing.
Anti-venom is nerfed. Yeah, they nerfed that one fast, boys. Nothing I can do about it. All right.
About one of the
Blurred Beast is back?
Updated legendaries. So the aspect of the Blurred Beast. So this previously was a legendary that
lands
caused
4
your spell to do
times?
some bonus
Ooh.
damage to poison enemies. It was fine.
This one,
but it wasn't
hopefully this
too
will be like the
enticing.
build,
But
man.
now with the
Season of the
new
Druid.
update here, you
That actually looks fun.
still do more damage just all the time. And depending on how far you're traveling for Shred, you're going to do some bonus hits. And it looks so cool. Your werewolf is dashing across the screen and then just doing this like multi-hit kind of attack. And
Multi-strike.
So if you're really close, you're just going to get maybe one additional strike. But if you're at this further distance, as you see in this clip, you're going to get the full.
I
4
like
hits.
this. This
So
is
it's really
cool, man.
about Positional gameplay a bit more than it was in the past, and you get very heavily rewarded for it when you do kind of execute that properly.
That's awesome.
And it's gonna be really great for like movement, just moving around across the map, which I know movement is always a big thing that players really, really want. People have always been asking for, so it'll be cool to see people kind of like just bouncing around as a druid with the aspect of the Blurred Beast. So very cool.
Yeah.
It's always great when we can inject like changing how you play also, right? Because you can imagine like launching into a group of enemies, then picking out specific targets that you really want to launch to, and that's how you optimize that build combat-wise.
Absolutely. This is one of my favorite ones in this patch, actually. Big fan of a lot of these Druid updates. Aspect of Wolf's Rain. So this is a combo kind of legendary, combining the powers of Hurricane and your Wolf companions. So when you cast Hurricane, all of your wolves actually spawn a little mini hurricane.
Does that work
of
with
their own.
overpower though?
And
that's
these
the
will
question.
do bonus damage for each of your active wolves. So it really encourages.
So
these
Hurricane Wolf?
companion-based builds
I like
that
this.
Already have this wolf pack of 5 wolves following them around.
'Cause with-
now your Hurricane affects all of them, and they get.
With Hurricane, you're
bonus
actually
damage
in
for however
bear
you got
form
some
right
wood,
now.
and
That's the
stacking
best
up as many
build.
wolves as you can. They all get Hurricanes, and you just get to shred through the whole screen with that.
That's super cool.
All right, moving on to Rogue. So this is one that Shadow Clone has been probably the Rogue skill that I would say it maybe wasn't quite hitting the mark compared to most other
Ooh,
skills.
Shadow Clone's gained the summoning
And
skill
that was
tag.
for a variety of reasons, and not to get too
All of the
technical
damage
here
added
on-
from the
on
player?
details, but for a lot of the
Oh,
effects
they can
that
trigger
your-
all lucky hit.
that you have,
Holy,
your
the
legendaries,
poison.
your passives, and those kind of things.
Oh.
Historically, Shadow Clone behaved inconsistently with those.
No, it was
wouldn't necessarily
bad.
pick up all of the bonuses. It wouldn't trigger.
It
all
doesn't
of the
get any
effects.
of the
And the end
aspects
result was
either.
basically, that your Shadow Clone
Was garbage,
dealt
yeah.
a whole lot less damage than you did. You thought, hey, I'm hitting for millions, and my Shadow Clone's hitting for like thousands, right?
Yeah.
And so we really looked at that comprehensively and thought, okay, we need to kind of rethink how Shadow Clone works across the board to really bring it.
Why are
up
they
to
showing
par
Wind
to
Striker aspect?
Make it.
They're
behave
deleting
the
it or
way you
something? Like,
expect, and then also extend that to a lot of the other summons in the game. The summons like your Necromancer skeletons, your Druid companions, and so on. So we did basically a rework of that entire system. And the long and short of it is that they should just work a whole lot better going forward.
if they get
in this
all of the
season,
damage, it's
where
actually
they're
going to be broken.
to
I guarantee you
trigger
this is
all
the
of your
best
lucky
build
hit
in the
effects.
entire game
They're
for
going
Rogue.
to interact with all of your damage modifiers and multipliers that they previously were inconsistently working with. So just one example here, a very simple example.
'Cause it's
You've got
literally
Wind
double your
Striker's
damage.
aspect. This is a very simple legendary that just says, hey, when you critically strike, gain some movement speed. Now, in the past, that was only when your player character.
But if they can
critically
activate
struck
all lucky
with
hit,
one of
dude,
your
and
skills.
Dariel's plus
And it would
that?
not happen whenever one of
Barrage?
your companions or
With
your
all
Shadow
the-
Clone critically
Dude,
strikes.
I think they're
But
gonna
now
change
all
this,
of
dude.
that
I'm gonna
will
be
work.
real.
So your companions or your summons or your Shadow Clone critically strikes, and you have Wind Strikers.
Almost
now
guarantee
your
there's going to be
character
some
gets that
crazy
bonus.
build and or bug with
Yeah,
this. But it's
I
going to
really
be
can't,
fun. Holy.
overstate this, like how many new interactions and synergies this unlocks with not just Shadow Clone, but all of the summons in general across the game.
Dude, that's very
But
exciting.
with
Okay,
Shadow Clone in
what do we got?
particular, we've
Assassin's
got
Stride?
a new unique item, and this one is Assassin's Stride. And the effect here works with mobility skills and your shadow imbuement. Once again, kind of playing up that combo aspect. So all of your mobility skills are going to always be shadow imbued with some bonus potency. So they're going to do some more damage. And
Maybe you could do
whenever you damage an elite or boss,
Shadow
with
Step
a
build would be
mobility
cool,
skill,
man.
There's a chance to trigger an instant free shadow imbuement explosion. So those of you who like playing Shadow Step builds, one of my favorite ones with Rogue, you know, just like Adam had said before about jumping around the screen with werewolves, you can do that with Shadow Step now too. And you're just going to be getting a lot of those resets and kills much quicker as you leap out of the shadows, trigger a shadow imbuement explosion, and then move on to the next pack of enemies. Really cool, unique for that kind of build.
Hopefully that'll be actually good enough for like just spamming
Additionally,
that.
caltrops. Maybe the skill was.
I've wanted this for
kind of
so long.
clunky on control-wise to use.
Thank God.
Seriously.
If you've ever tried to use caltrops, it can be a struggle sometimes where your character would leap backwards and you wouldn't go in the right direction, wouldn't hit the enemies. We've updated the animation here to just basically be very similar to the smoke grenade skill, where you just pick a point on the screen, your character throws it, and it just goes where you point it.
That's
am
a win,
the
man.
king of like caltropping one minion out of like 100, and then also falling, like jumping back into like a giant mob and going like, well, I didn't calculate that correctly.
Yeah.
So that update, we were talking about this beforehand, like before we even went live, and I was like, thank effing God. I was like, oh my God, please. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Caltrop should be so much more usable now, and we think that this is a really good change going forward.
Yeah.
All right, on to the Necromancer.
Okay,
So
Necromancer changes.
We've
Let's
done
see it,
some
man.
improved itemization and updates to the overpower synergies, specifically the Rathma's Vigor key passive. So previously, it would just give you some an overpower once every 12 seconds, and or when you overhealed for some bonus life, and now we're just tacking on a big chunk of overpower damage to it.
What?
We
Just
definitely
like,
felt
here's
this was
120
a
X damage, man.
overpower build.
Holy.
We're just not quite hitting that mark. And, you know, just...
Dude, we in Diablo 3 now, man, at this point. Dude, that's such a big, like, number. We just think that... Dude, 120x, that's like 3 or 4 aspects, man. That is massive. All right, let's see the new uniques.
Similar to what we did with the
What's called
Sorcerer, where we had
casinos?
kind of these paired uniques.
Ultimate
We're going to
damage?
have 2 uniques in the same slot for Necromancer as well, this time in the pants slot. And they're both going to be working with Blood Wave. So this one, Kasemi's Legacy, will cause, instead of shooting 1 Blood Wave out forward, you're going to get 2 that kind of converge on you. And this
Like a
it
reverse
changes up
Moses,
the targeting
splitting
of it,
the wave.
positioning requirements, and really the use case, because it's pulling towards you instead of pushing away.
I think it would have been cool if it shot out and it was
So
called
the
like
effect
Moses,
skill
this
is
blood
more about
wave.
the damage and pulling them together, and then when they hit,
But it's
they
still
do a big
cool,
chunk of
man.
damage as well. So definitely turns Blood Wave into a much more damage-focused skill and a little bit less on the CC or the knockback crowd control.
Okay, so you get 300 ultimate damage. But
Absolutely.
let's see if people are going to be able to spam
Especially if you
it.
wanna
Kind
be
of
using this for that big
curious,
damage.
genuinely, if you could just spam this ability, you
Now,
know?
the alternative is
Oh.
Indria's Memory.
What's this do?
Where it still shoots the Blood Wave forward, and then at the end of its path, it will trap the targets in a bone prison. So this is a unique that is very much about combining blood and bone. So a little bit less of the pure blood and much more about combining the two.
Wait,
Now,
this is actually pretty
additionally,
busted
you
that it
see
actually
we're using some
costs
bone
10%
spears
life?
here, or should I say blood spears, because that is what they now become.
I wonder if you can
Blood
run out,
spears, and,
like if it will stop working if you don't
instead
have
of costing
HP.
a bunch of essence, they're going to cost, or sorry, they drain maximum life, still cost essence there, but they drain maximum life to cast additionally from a nearby corpse to fire an extra bone spear / blood spear. So there's a lot going on with this one, but I think it really comes together to be a very strong build when you're using the Bone Spear and the Blood Wave, and then casting Bone Spear reduces Blood Wave's cooldown. That's the inherent affix on these legs. Really makes a really cool build.
So you basically
that,
get
I
another
think
bone spear if
synergizes
it
very nicely.
pops the enemy too. That's really cool. I like that. Seems like that could be
And so
fun
onto the
too.
Spiritborn. So we
Oh,
kind of,
what's going on?
warned at the start, Spiritborn we recognize has been one or multiple steps above most
They
classes.
look at the chance for
and
core
players
skills.
that
They reduced that by
play Spiritborn, they're very
0.1%.
powerful.
Why?
But
Why did they
we
reduce
have to
it?
recognize, for the long term,
That doesn't-
the game is
look, do you
to
guys see
that
this
we have
difference?
A bit better
Why?
class parity across the board. So
Okay.
you don't feel like you're doing it wrong.
Those
if you're
numbers
not
are
playing the
weird.
Spiritborn.
All right. Anyways,
And we have like a lot of the classes outside of the Spiritborn are actually in a really good spot. They're
Yeah.
pushing pit tier 100 plus, which is great. And again, we're
So
not looking
they're
to
nerfing
really
it
buff
by-
every
was it divided by
class up
6?
to clearing pit
So it's divided by 6 on the damage
where we just have
right
to
there.
continuously sort of ask you, the player, to
but that
shoot
you
through,
still get the
20
basic
different
skill, right?
combos because we're just armed
I didn't get to
versus
read
not so
everything,
much.
but
Yeah.
if it still counts
we
as
do
basic
think
skills,
that
I think
kind
that's
of
cool.
our
Genuinely.
target there is closer to where the other 5 classes are, and Spiritborn was just too
Way
high
outside
up.
of that, yeah.
And it's rather than try to power creep the whole game, we'd like to make sure we make some small improvements everywhere else to the underperforming builds and those ones that don't have enough love, and then get Spiritborn back down to a more healthy spot. Okay. And so with that in mind, one of the biggest offenders, or biggest power points rather.
Oh, we're getting Razor Wing buffs again.
Was the Rod of
That's
Capaleti
cool.
here. This one
Confirmed
is
right there.
one that,
So, let's
converts
see.
your core skills into basic skills. And
Yeah, I like that. It's still good.
It used to do reduced damage based on vigor cost.
Oh, it doesn't
and,
lose the-
admittedly,
wait.
The calculations there were kind of complex, and so we've simplified it down a little bit.
Well, it doesn't really matter. You would
where
never get the reduction in
they
damage
will
anyways.
Just gain the bonus critical strike damage.
It's
It
still
will be
divided by 6.
Substantially less. Previously, it was 1 to 3%. Now it'll be down to 0.1 to 0.5 per point of vigor
Yeah,
there.
it's-
We think this will bring it to a much healthier spot, but still kind of.
Nah, you
retain
could probably
the
still
core
one-shot
fantasy
Derailed.
and the
Let's-
core
we'll see,
build
man.
Implications of this item. It just won't
It's
be
still probably one of the
pushing
best
quite
items in the
same,
game, honestly.
Trillions of
It's
damage
free
that we were
resource.
seeing before.
Converting
We also
skills
fixed
is
some of
pretty
the
big
issues
too.
called out here at the above, like viscous shield and things like that. Scaling in unintended ways that were just way outside of our expectations.
Yeah, definitely some unintended kind of bugged interactions
Yeah.
that were maybe double dipping or scaling too high. We've taken a pass to make those more in line with our expectations.
The question is, can you still run Banished Lords with it? Like, does that combo still
right.
work? We'll have to wait and see, man.
Additionally, we've got new aspects. Of course,
Razor Wing hitting enemy
being
increases
a
your
class
eagle
in
skill
Diablo 4,
damage.
You're going to be getting new content every season. So we've got new legendary aspect here, the aspect of Endless Talons that causes you a Razor Wings to increase all of your eagle skill damage. And
you can remember, you can convert your other skills to eagle
grant you
skills,
more
so-
stacks. So you can really stack that up. It stacks up to 50%. That's a whole lot. So you really want to be spamming out these Razor Wings and getting those crits to stack this up.
I mean, the skill, by the way,
as fast as
still
possible.
genuinely isn't very
and this
good. I'm
goes
going to keep
back
it
to,
real,
like,
though.
just the
And you need
prior slide where we
insane
talked about
cooldown
how
reduction.
Razor
So
Wings
I don't
is
see
something
Razor
that
Wings
are getting
with
some
just that
love
alone
in
being
this
good.
specific season,
It's-
which were more so underutilized in
Quill Volley's still on
season
top,
6,
man.
So,
Yeah, Elixir doesn't
season
work,
7,
Pinguini.
but
It got
we'll
nerfed,
see.
sadly.
These new legendary aspects, of course.
I don't think they're buffing it in
and
Season
how
7.
they
This is all
actually
Season
work
7
with
stuff,
some
by
of
the way.
changes that we're doing for those builds.
So is that it for the class changes? Oh, no, we got some new changes?
We've
Okay.
got some updates to some of the underused uniques as well. Ring of Writhing Moon.
Pestilent
here.
Swarm?
This one would trigger Pestilent Swarm every 10 seconds. We felt like that was a little too long given the pace of combat. in our
It's weird
game,
because like it's poison, but then it gives you
especially
crit. It's
compared
like,
to some
again,
of the other
it's the
options
puzzle
at
pieces
the
do not
unique
connect
slot,
in the
range
identity,
slot.
right?
So we've reduced that down to every 4 seconds, you'll spawn a Pestilent Swarm, and the vigor generated goes up from 1 up to 3. So a lot more.
That chance to make enemies vulnerable is actually pretty sexy. You basically could get like 100%.
compared to your other choices. At
So
the slot.
that ring alone with just that stat is actually maybe something that some people will
So
consider.
let's talk a little bit about
We'll see,
some
though.
of the broader updates that
Ooh,
affect all
gameplay.
classes. So the
Okay,
the one I'm
ultimate
excited about here
updates.
is the ultimate updates. So
All right, let's check this out.
In the previous season, we introduced skill ranks on ultimates.
Oh, yeah,
So
you
can
get-
now rank up
now
to
at
ultimate
rank
up to
5, it does something
and that
bonus?
that was good. Gave you some cooldown reduction, some damage. But now, when you actually fully invest in it up to that rank 5.
Okay,
every
that's cool.
ultimate in the game is going to get a new rank 5 bonus. So for example here on Lacerate, we've got at rank 5, Lacerate's damage is going to be increased by 40% of your critical strike damage bonus. It gives it this scaling factor. So you can see on the left, Lacerate at rank 1 is doing about 38,000 damage, but you rank it up to 5, and it goes crazy high up to 119,000 damage because it's now getting that critical strike damage scalar. And so if you really want to build a dedicated lacerate build, as
Last
kind of
Rate's
your-
animation is
your
pretty bad.
core
I'm gonna be
damaging
honest, unless they
effect,
change
this
that.
is going to be a great way to build around it.
I really
and
don't
a good
think people are gonna
reward
wanna
for
use it.
investing all those extra skill
I'd rather
points.
just play Shred, but
Definitely. I'd
we'll
like to
see.
see us add more things that incentivize you to actually put some points into skill.
Yeah, no, especially with the
Yeah,
new Shadow Clone too.
so
Oh, I'm
often,
excited about that.
Sometimes you'd see.
I'm gonna make a Shadow Clone Jitsu build.
The utility of the ultimate. Hey, it's fine to put in 1 point, right? You get 1 point, you get the utility, maybe you get some buff from it. But if you really want to invest in it, we want to make sure that investment
ultimate
in the skill
skills,
ranks feels meaningful.
with the exception of, like,
And we think
Necros,
these rank 5
weren't
bonuses
really
on ultimates in particular
doing crazy
is gonna be
stuff.
a really good way to pay off those ultimate builds.
Okay, cool. And then I want to see. Is this it? Is it gonna wrap it up?
All
Oh
right,
no, more
we've also
gameplay.
got some new generic legendary aspects.
I
to
like
this
generic.
style.
That's good.
That talk directly to ultimate skills.
Casting ultimate.
So we've got the
increases your
Vehement
damage.
Brawlers aspect that causes
Gain
casting
4
an ultimate
additional
skill
ultimate
increases all of your
skill
damage
ranks.
output
Ooh.
by 10 to 30% for 8 seconds.
That's
And you
like a
also
good
gain
generic, too.
additional skill ranks in your ultimate.
Additional skill ranks
hey,
equals
we just
extra
talked about
cooldown
skill
reduction,
rank
too.
Bonuses.
That's
Now
awesome.
We've got a legendary that will give you some bonus skill ranks.
Nice.
We've also got the Ring of Apogic Fervor, which says casting your ultimate skill will increase your damage by 8 to 18%, so a little bit less than the Vehement Brawlers, but it stacks up to 10 times, so you can get way more if you can cast your ultimate fast enough and kind of chain it together. So this will be really good for like rogues that use preparation to really get that ultimate cooldown reduction, or any build that really wants to focus around casting your ult many times in a row. This one is going to be a great legendary for that.
You have to cast it 10 times just to get the cooldowns to be reset. That doesn't really make sense to me, but
All right, we've
it's
also
fine. You
done
can stack
updates
it.
to the Runewords.
Ooh, nice.
So Runewords, Vessel of Hatred feature, has been really well received. We think that they've really, spiced up some build variety, and we're going to add some new runes here and update some of the old ones. So all of the invocation runes have overflow. So the cost of many of them have also been adjusted to allow you to proc this overflow effect when you generate more offering than needed, much more often.
That's good.
And then also the ritual runes, the ones that generate the offering, some of them have been redesigned to have some larger potential moments of this overflow. So an example here on the Seer rune, this generates a ton of offering, 300 offering at once. And you get that by casting 5 skills. But then
You become
instead of just
exhausted?
casting 5 skills and then generate all of it, and then casting 5 again instantly. We've added in this exhausted period for 3 seconds. So you can get that 300 offering at once, but then you got to wait 3 seconds before you start building up those stacks again.
Right, so it's like
getting like large buckets.
It's like a
every
cooldown,
couple
okay.
seconds instead of offering now with these.
I don't know if I like that. I just want the
Clean
skill
up to
straight up.
kind of make sure that, hey, we can give you this strong moment of power, but then it is followed by a little bit of a weaker moment where you can't generate that, rather than every.
I'll be honest, this is the first thing so far. I don't really like it.
To have those peaks and valleys. I really think that leads to
Razor Wing's
more
not
interesting
not very
moments
good,
of
Grizzly.
gameplay.
Yeah,
It's like
about
open world
potency,
content only.
efficiency, like
Like,
really strong effects.
No pit pushing, man.
Do it as often.
Right. And that'll play right into the updates with a lot of the overflow to make sure that when you do overflow, it feels really good and feels really rewarding to get that. So let's talk about some of the other runes. We've got
Some new runes to show off.
Oh, new runes,
yeah,
new
so we've got,
runes.
3 new
Yes,
rune
yes.
words here.
Okay.
The Nagu rune, a legendary rune that will
Maintain
gain 100
one
offering,
summon?
as long as you're maintaining a summon. And so, as
Wait,
I
that's, like,
kind of
so
alluded to
free?
earlier with
That's
the
cool.
Shadow
I like
section,
that.
Summon is our new catch-all term for anything that you summon. It's pretty self-explanatory, but that includes things like Necromancer minions, Druid companions, Sorcerer conjurations.
If you can make a summon
Shadow
rogue,
Clones,
that's
and
what we're
even
gonna try,
Barbarian
man.
Ancients from some of your effects, Call of the Ancients, and some of the legendaries that summon those are all summons. Igni rune will generate 25 offering, but it stores up offering every 0.3 seconds. So you're actually generating about 75 offering per second, roughly. And you actually cash it in by casting a non-basic skill to get that offering. So as long as you're out there kind of spamming your basic skill, you're going to be kind of banking up this offering. And then when you cast the non-basic, you cash all in. You probably trigger the rune it's connected to. You get a big.
So you can use it with
overflow,
like
you get
combo
some
points on
power there.
rogue. It'd be cool ideas.
And finally, we've got the Chak rune that requires 20 offering rather, and this will invoke Druid's Lightning Bolt. That's one of those
There is like a bonus multiplier
it's
on it,
not
but
the core
I don't know
skill,
if
the
people would
lightning
use
bolt
it.
is kind of that other power in the Druid's kit, similar to like Earthquake or
I'm
Stun
gonna be honest, I
Rifles.
might. That's gonna be
Yeah,
a skip.
So enable those. Kind
The
of
Barbarian
moves to
Earthquake
really
one
tap
is
into
good
that
though.
effect.
Because it's like big AoE. All right.
Lot
Is this
of
it?
different-
Is this gonna wrap
Yeah,
it up for the class? Because I'm gonna try to cut
Lots
these
of
up.
Changes coming to
So-
classes. There's
so-
more changes in the notes that we'll have.
Okay, cool.
That will be hitting next week.
Oh, okay,
so
next
folks can
week.
Look into those. These are just a few examples that we have
Cool,
for
cool.
PTR. And of course, really need feedback on a lot of these changes. I know there's some people going in chat going like, "Hey, I'm noticing
what?
like
Wait.
maybe you're
Chat
getting
is
a lot
disabled.
of
What-
buffering, and then there's a little bit of a cooldown period or something like that. Let us know. Like we want people to try those out, like test it out. So
I
that
don't
we
know
have
why they
the
don't have
feedback
chat, though.
before
It
we
got-
go
it's
live
gotta be
with-
an accident,
with
right?
patch 2.1. We can end up
Okay, so-
making any feedback changes based off of community feedback.
Okay, so they're probably gonna get into the
lots
next
of cool
one,
stuff.
but
Thank you so much
that's what
for
I'm gonna
walking
do
us through
for
all
this
the
is
different class
part
changes and
1
everything like that,
because there's
Charles.
gonna be
Do
a
we
separate
have
section,
Dan
season 7,
available from
gameplay,
Armory?
please.
We do
Anyways,
have Dan.
this is gonna wrap it up for
I
part
hear you
1
now.
because there's gonna be more.
I was like, Dan
But
was
that's
just,
the-
like, staring blankly at the camera.
Okay, that's going to be the class balance. Let me know, guys, what you think about it. I think there are a lot of cool changes. There's a lot of unique changes, but if there is more, I will cover it in the next part 2 of the brand new Campfire chat and class balance updates, whatever we're going to call it. I want to see what Season 7 has to offer, but yeah, what do you guys think of it?
Could not keep me from sharing this with everybody.
Okay, so now this is Season 7, I think. Once he starts,
this
actually.
PTR for patch 2.1 is a PTR of a couple firsts at this point. This is going to be the
Season
first time
7
that we're bringing
PTR.
the seasonal realm
Okay.
to a PTR. So what does this mean? We've got a lot of seasonal content coming up in
Oh,
season.
show me the season
We
content,
want to be
man.
able to get all of your feedback on this content.
Okay,
It's
so what's
pretty
coming?
important for us to, like Adam was
Season
saying,
is called
really have those iteration
Seasonal
cycles where they're
Borrowed
able to
Power
test and,
Returns.
show what's
Witchcraft.
working and what isn't.
Ooh, okay.
This is also going to be the first time since season 2 that we're bringing back seasonal character powers. So if you remember in season 2, Season of Blood, they were vampire powers.
I'm
and you slotted
hyped,
them
man.
into your Sanguine
Yes,
circle.
that was the best
And
season,
so,
100%.
For season 7, it'll be a little bit different. Not vampires this time. This time it's going to be witchcraft. And so I'm excited to really dig into that right now and tease out what y'all can play in a couple weeks. So witchcraft enables you as a practitioner to call upon the power of the swamp to do your bidding.
Okay.
And so you've met
Restless
some witches
Rot.
before in the game, and you're going to meet some more in
Aren't
the
those
coming season.
malignant monsters?
But before I really dive
Kinda
into
looks like that.
witchcraft, we got to talk
But-
about your enemies.
Okay.
Now, your enemies of this season are going to be called the Head Rotten. Now, the Head Rotten are abominations that spawned from the Tree of Whispers.
Okay.
And you're going to slay them and collect what we call Restless Rot. And this is going to be our currency for the season. Now, like I said, the season is about witchcraft, so there are going to be some witches. And those witches are going to be residing around the Tree of Whispers, and they're going to have some altars.
All right, show us the
And these
gameplay,
altars
though.
are pretty important to you learning your witchcraft. And so you're going to travel to an altar. You're going to make an offering of Restless Rot, and that's going to enable you to learn the witchcraft. Now, equipping witchcraft is going to be pretty simple. We want
It's like the season is the blood power all over again.
from a lot of
But
these
that's good.
styles
That's a good
of
thing.
menus that we've done in the past, and distill it into something that's very convenient and easy to use. And the result is this witchcraft menu that you can see in front of you. And so equipping is going to be super simple. You've got an inventory on the bottom, and then you're going to drag or otherwise move that power to one of the slots up
And then
top.
you rank it up. Like I said,
You're
it's
gonna have
literally
five normal
the
slots, five
and they
normal powers
upgrade
you can equip
just
at any
like it.
point, and one unique power for really special witchcraft that you can
Oh, so you
buy.
get like one of the big
The other
ultimate
thing
one.
is that
All
you
right,
can
oops.
upgrade your witchcraft directly in that inventory using Restless Rot. So again, we're streamlining the process to make it easy for
Please
players
make it
to
account bound though. I
equip
hate how every
and
single character
upgrade
has to
their witchcraft.
re-level it up. That's actually annoying.
Now,
So-
obviously, it wouldn't be a season without some rewards, and so let's talk about those a little bit. This
Looks
season,
kinda the
we're
same,
going to have
but-
another reputation-style gameplay in the form of Coven's Favor. Now, killing head rotten will get you headless rot, or killing head rotten will get you restless rot. But in order to advance the Coven's favor, you actually need to complete whispers. And completing those
So it's going to be
whispers
Season of
will
Do Whispers?
increase your rank and allow you to unlock rewards, including items and materials and things like that. In addition, new to this season, you're going to also unlock at certain ranks new witchcraft. And then you will have new things you can learn from those altars. And then, because everyone loves it, we're bringing back the Resplendent Spark as well. So
Okay, that's good.
going to
I
be
don't know
at
why
the
they even
end
removed it in the first
of
place, to
your,
be honest. I would rather level up
Coven's
5
favor.
characters and go
And
farm
of course, the
Doriel again.
Resplendent
I hate
Spark
that, man.
nowadays can be used from crafting, a random mythic unique to actually targeting uniques using a lot of those
But you need a rune,
runes
though,
that you can earn in the
which
game.
are very, very rare, man.
All right, one last little thing with respect to Witchcraft. So we wanted to try out something a little bit different. And so we've also created several powers that are lost to these witches.
Discover
that
forgotten
live in the swamp.
altars.
And so
I never
those
really
you
liked
can
finding the
only find
Lilith
by
altars.
traveling out in the world and discovering forgotten altars.
Don't worry,
These
guys.
forgotten
I'll upload the
altars
video.
will
You get them
allow
all
you
in
to
5
learn these
minutes.
lost
I'll show you
powers.
guys exactly where
And,
it comes out.
yeah,
I
thought
I
we'd
never
try
really
something
felt
a
like
little
those
bit
were really
different here.
interesting.
And,
Maybe back in the
kinda let
day,
us know what you think about it.
before
Now,
the internet, but
let's
nowadays people
talk
are just going to
about
look it
some of the
up, right?
Witchcraft itself.
It's like the Lilith
We've
altars.
talked it up a bit. We're going to release, it's over 20 powers.
Okay, 20
for the
powers.
season, and we're going to show you 4 of those right
Yeah,
now.
okay,
So
gameplay.
Let's talk about the first one. This one
Let's
is really
go.
popular.
Oh,
This
wait,
is the
poison
frog. So the poison frog, as you imagine, is
Isn't
a
that from, like,
servant that you
D3?
can summon that fights alongside you.
Is he a oh, he is a
As
summon.
its name
Dude,
implies,
we're
it
going to
will
make a
poison your
summon
enemies,
rogue, man.
And if it
I
runs out
wanna
of
do
health,
it.
it's going to explode viciously with a lot of poison damage. Folks are having a lot of fun with this one.
Season 7 looking
Next
good,
up,
man.
Next up is Doom Orb. So Doom Orb is a pure orb of eldritch energy that circles around you and damages any enemy it touches. And it can also launch itself at distant enemies before returning. Also another favorite at this point. Vengeful Servant. So Vengeful Servant,
Wait, what is
as
Psych?
the name implies, is another servant like the frog. And this one will absorb damage and then rush enemies. And then last but not least, we've got one of those lost witchcraft powers I was telling you about. And this is Piranado.
Dude, I wonder what
So,
these are all like Witch Doctor stuff.
this one
I wonder if they
procs
planned Witch
when
Doctor
you
and then just got rid of it.
cast other
And they're just like,
powers.
let's just use the
And
skills.
so if you cast a hex and an aura,
It's
at the
basically
same
Witch Doctor. We got the
time and
poison
inflict
frogs. We got the
on,
Piranado.
an enemy, there's a chance that you will then proc the Piranado, and the Piranado, as you can see, sucks everything into it in a swirling dervish of.
So
fish
far, it's
fins.
looking finally good, man. Finally, we get a good
So,
season, man.
Yeah, that's a peek at some of the witchcraft powers you're going to be able to play with soon. But what
Okay.
good are powers if we aren't offering you some new
Dude, season
activities
7.
within the season
Okay,
to
please add a
participate
new
in?
endgame, man. I've been
And so these come
really
in the
saying they need
form of
endgame.
head hunts. Now, head hunts are
So what is this? Whispers have infested the
a
tree. Okay.
whisper-driven activity. And so the tree is searching for these head rotten. The tree wants you to eliminate these head rotten. And so it's going to help you by highlighting areas within the world where it thinks there's a lot of head rotten for you to kill. So you're going to follow the whispers in order to, find the head hunts and kill the head rotten. Now, these are subzone takeovers, similar to
Dude, this is
Helltide.
just like season 2 repeat. Like instead of it
They are
being
going to
like
feature a
Helltides
number
or
of
whatever, it's
all
like,
new
oh, it's
whispers
green
mixed in with some
vampiric,
existing
right?
ones. This was an
But it was the
opportunity
best
for
season,
our
so
team to
I
try out
can't
some
be
new
mad.
whispers and really kind of tell a little bit of a story each time you're going out on a head hunt, because whispers offer us that opportunity.
Because the problem is the pit
Now,
is still so good for
completing
XP
whispers
that
has a chance of
why would you do
spawning a
anything
head rotten
else?
boss. And the head rotten bosses are the things you're really going to be looking out for, because those are going to give you some additional rewards I'm going to tell you about. Delivering a head rotten boss's head to the Tree of Whispers enables you to earn occult gems. Let's talk about occult gems. Now, we're pretty excited about these. Occult gems are special socketables that have unique effects that help you fine-tune your build. So they can only be slotted in the jewelry slot.
So we get 3.
And so this is a way of basically having them coexist with runes. And
Yeah, okay, that's good.
they only last for the season. So when your items transfer,
I
to
hate
the
that though.
interim
Like
realm
when
at the
they
end of
just
the season, these
disappear.
are gonna
I
disappear.
really hate that, to be honest.
But in the meantime, I think you're going to have a lot of fun with them. Let's dive into them a little bit. So each occult gem has built-in defense.
Okay,
We
cool.
don't
So you don't
want you
lose
to have
on
to make a
yeah.
choice between,
But it gives
a
you
royal
less
diamond
armor?
or a royal skull and an occult gem. So all of these occult gems have defense built into them, so that really you're getting a bonus above and beyond those gems that I just described. And so here are some examples of them. First up, we've got the Elder
They're all
Sigil.
just increased numbers,
This
so
is going to boost your damage whenever you hex enemies. So if you're leaning into certain types of hexes you like using, Elder Sigil may be a good fit for you. Killing Wind. This is going to boost your crit and move for folks who really dig, specking out with Eldritch powers. So if you equip 3 or more Eldritch powers, then slotting a Killing Wind into, say, one of your rings might benefit you quite a bit.
I'm guessing you
And
can't
then
have
finally,
multiple of
we've
the
got
same.
Duststone. This is a legendary one, so it's going to be even more powerful than the other 2 I talked about. This is going to boost when you use Hex and Aura and afflict other enemies with those. So each time you do that, not only do you have a chance to proc that Piranado I talked about before, but you're going to increase the damage that you output per affliction. So you can kind of get a sense that the occult gems are providing you even more incentives for creating a certain type of build. And we are just really excited to see what kind of combinations y'all come up with. I think it's going to be pretty exciting. So final thing
Okay.
is, we were doing a lot with the Tree of Whispers. We've got the witches around them.
Ancestral casters. Okay.
So we thought, well, we should, take some of the quality of life feedback we've heard from players and try and address it. So the first thing we've done is we've updated the town around the Tree of Whispers. We added some more services to it because we expect you to be returning
Okay,
to it
that's
a lot
good.
more this season.
Nice little quality of life.
And we've changed the layout a little bit to make it a little more convenient to navigate and move the waypoint so that it's just quicker to get to the Tree of Whispers to turn in things. But sometimes, you're in the middle of a headhunt we found, and you're getting a lot of grim favor, but you don't want to leave. You want to try and go fight the boss that you just summoned, right?
We get like 2 turn-ins or
So
something.
we've also implemented what we call the Raven of the Tree. And the Raven of the Tree appears in every headhunt zone, and that allows you to turn in your grim favor on the spot.
Oh, that's really
so
nice.
That you don't have to go back to the tree town. Now, you're not going to have access to all those other services, so
Okay, you can't like salvage and stuff.
You probably
Yeah.
want to go back to town. But in the
I
moment,
think that's okay.
when you're in a flow, you can go to the Raven of the Tree, get your cash, and then keep fighting. And then finally, we felt like we wanted to expand the rewards a little bit more for the Tree of Whispers. So we've added ancestral caches. It's a pretty low probability of getting one, but they're there. And these guarantee you getting an ancestral item from a cache.
Oh, and
so
ancestral.
You see this pop up.
Not all ancestral.
I have a feeling you're probably going to select it. So, I think that's all I have to talk about.
Okay.
For the
genuinely
upcoming PTR.
really good so
I'll
far.
kick it back over to you, Adam.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dan. Talking about a ton of new stuff coming for patch 2.1 PTR and, of course, Season 7.
December 3rd, by the way, guys. That's when it comes out.
all the
Season
Tree
7
updates.
for the
a lot
PTR
of people
only.
in chat are, especially with the Raven not having to go back to the Tree Whispers every single time, being able to turn in grim
I'm
favors
curious,
right
is the
there
chat still
through the
broken?
Raven.
It's still
On top
disabled,
of that,
man.
Also, just the rework of the zone. So
I don't
a
know.
little bit closer. You're not have to walk all the way across, to walk all the way back to the waypoint, or to get to the vendors and everything. So there's a lot of big changes with that. And please do choose the ancestral cache.
Yes,
like,
so powerful.
why would you not? Yeah.
And I think it's important to remember we added the ability to favorite waypoints as part of Season 6 or the last patch that we did. So it's super helpful with that Witch Town.
Yeah, most definitely. And of course, people have been seeing some of the new Witchcraft powers and and noticing some familiarities of like past Diablo lore. And I will say we'll be talking more about the story of Season 7 as we get closer to launch, so players can hear more about kind of like the origins of all of like what we've been kind of talking about.
But yeah,
here
so far
with
the gameplay they
story
showed
with
off looks
Diablo
pretty
4.
cool.
So thank you again, Dan, for walking us
But
through
I
all the content
kind of
that's
want
coming
to
with
know,
Season
is this
7.
going to be
And of
endgame?
course,
We got a
last
new
but not
pinnacle
least, we
boss?
do want to talk
Is there
about
more?
some
Okay.
big quality of life changes.
All right.
One really, really big one that we're really excited to talk about. And Mr. Colin Feiner will talk and walk us through everything.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. So most of these are sort of systemic updates, so I'll talk through them. Paragon migration is more just a reminder on how the new Paragon system works. All of the Paragon experience that you've earned in a season is actually at the end of Season 6 going to be added to your Eternal Realm Paragon. So what that means is, if you're Paragon level 230 on a season, all of that 230 worth of experience is going to get added to your Eternal, which probably is going to level up your Eternal Paragon. And I mention this because we added the really cool Soul Stone. I kept calling it the Vessel of Hatred Crystal, but it's the Soul Stone. That really cool Soul Stone that you get at Paragon level 300, you can actually earn that on Eternal. So if you're not willing to sort of put in hundreds of hours to get that in a season, you can work your way there on the Eternal Realm as you sort of cash in these seasons. So we think that's going to feel.
So
like
ancestral items
really nice
drop
is
the
you're,
top
like,
end of the
playing
aspect
multiple
rolls,
seasons
guys.
characters, and then
That's what I
eventually
wanted
you'll
to see.
end up just getting
The
enough
baseline
XP to
drop
actually
rate also
earn those
got
rewards at
increased.
level
So that's pretty
300
big, man.
Paragon. So that's actually, it's not like I have to have it in this
right.
season or something like that. You probably end up getting it in a couple seasons if you play pretty extensively and you level up your Paragon.
Yeah, definitely. The second one here is now we are essentially tying the unique power. So if you think about like the Fists of Fate, that random damage roll from 1 to 200, that's going to be
that
tied,
also
the
rolls?
floor is going to be tied to the amount of greater affixes that are on that item. So if you have one greater
Oh, so if you have a
affix,
quad,
the
is
floor
it
gonna go up
perfect?
a little bit from the 1%. When you get 4 greater affixes, it's going to go up quite a bit. It's not exactly perfect because we wanted to maintain the sort of specialness of a 4 GA with a perfect unique roll. We've seen some of those on Reddit, and I think it's always such a cool moment to sort of see
Yeah,
those
good
drop.
luck,
But
man.
it's going to be
They're
a
all gonna be
substantial
duped.
Increase to the power of the floor. So it's
Where's
gonna be,
where's the invention of the
nearly
dupes though? We
impossible
got
to
to see
4
that.
GA with a really crappy unique power.
Okay, that was good. I saw that
So
post
like,
also.
getting a 4 GA and then like
And then rolling it.
1%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that always just feels bad. You never want to be comparing like, oh, I got a 4 GA. Well, my 1 GA one is maybe better because it has a better unique roll. That wasn't a moment we felt was really enticing, so we wanted to make sure that the more GAs you get, just the better the item is, comprehensively, just better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come on,
So
auction
that's
house,
quite a bit.
auction house and armory, the
And
two
then,
big
I wanna
things,
talk about
and maybe
one
PvP
thing
too.
Previously on that, which is
Hold on.
ancestral legendaries. They are now going to, when an ancestral item drops, it's going to drop the top end of the legendary aspect roll. So if you think in Season 6, we added 5 more ranks to compensate ancestral being added. Rank 21 is usually where they end up landing. Now ancestral items, when they drop, they're going to be at the top end of that. So you should always be pretty excited when an ancestral drops because it's always the best sort of top end ranks of that legendary power that could drop.
Yeah, we saw lots of conspiracy theories on Reddit of people going like, hey, I think like my Codex of Power is not getting updated correctly or something like that. And we totally understand. Like there was a lot of confusion behind it. We had that on our end. And this just makes it easier and better for players in being able to grab it. It's not Colin behind the scenes on a computer like it was. It actually was. He was literally just like making sure you got the lowest aspect or anything like that.
Grind harder.
So that most definitely will address a lot of the confusion there as well.
Dude, but the
just
Season
make it
7
better for
stuff
players
actually looks
overall.
really good.
Yeah,
But I still
definitely.
want some
And then
other
the
things to
second
do at
point
the
here
end.
is We've pretty substantially increased the ancestral drop rate across the board. They're not going to be raining from the sky.
I think
but
we're
it's
going rogue,
definitely
guys. We're not
pretty
actually rolling
substantially increased
Spiritborn.
we think it's just going to level up all the different activities in the game, and that should just feel a lot better. We don't want to go too far where they're no longer special, but we thought that we were a little bit.
So
too
we're going
conservative
rogue.
on that personally.
We're running
And this will
Shadow
affect
Clone
all
Rogue
Torment
Jitsu.
tiers, right? Not just Torment 4.
Yep, exactly. So all Torment tiers are going to get this increase.
Great.
Cool. Okay, is that going to wrap
And then
things
the
up?
next one.
Oh, someone else?
So we saw that gems were dropping a little too frequently, constantly. getting
nerf
stuck
on
the
gems or
ground,
what?
Players were capped on them. So we are doing a pass to reduce them overall. But to compensate, we're actually adding a sync for them. So you're going to be able to take gem fragments and craft random legendary amulets and random legendary
Okay, that's
rings.
good.
Those all
That's
obviously add
genuinely
gems
pretty
to the
good.
Ancestral once you get into the torments. So it's a really nice way.
Oh,
for
once you
us
get into
to
torment,
sort of,
so save them.
make
Don't
sure that
even.
you're never hitting a
don't-
point where you just have so many gem fragments. They're worthless, right?
Awesome. Yeah.
And then the next one I think is going to be I'm super excited about, and that's
Oh, you don't have to do the
quest updates.
You don't have to do the
they're
class
going
quest?
To work similar to Altars of Lilith, right? Do you have more details on that?
Yeah. So class quests. So most classes or every class has this special mechanic.
Druids
so, like,
really
on
sucked, man.
Sorceress, you got your
The rest
enchantment
weren't too
slots.
bad.
And in the past, when you hit level 15, you'd get a quest where you had to go and
Yeah,
help out a mage.
That's
to
fine.
Find
It's like a
tome.
5-minute thing.
So for players who have
Except for
already
Druid.
completed that, you
Druid
are going
sucked.
to if you do need to log into that character first to kind of unlock it across your account. But once you've done that, any subsequent sorceress that you make, once you hit level 15, you're going to immediately unlock that first enchantment slot. And then once you hit level 30, you'll unlock the second one. Now, for every class, the exact level is going to be different. It depends on when that would normally unlock, but you won't have to go through the whole quest line to do so. But for those of you who really enjoyed doing those quests, there will be a pretty juicy reward if you do choose to do it.
Oh.
But you're going to get that mechanic right off the bat.
The juicy
Awesome.
reward. Okay,
You could still just
I'll let you
log
guys
into
know
your
what it
seasonal
is.
character and do it to unlock the class
course.
mechanic. We don't require you to log into your eternal character
Right.
to get this. Cool. So I think that's going to be awesome. I always like.
Okay. Oh,
the time.
the Armory
level 40,
voice.
I should
It is
probably
here.
do my
Wait,
class quest.
I have
wait.
definitely forgotten to unlock my golem on my necromancers for a little longer than I would like to admit.
Okay. We got the Armory though.
Production spoiled it.
The Armory's here, boys. We saw it.
The next update is
Finally, and
obviously
we
a big
just
one,
need
which is
the auction
finally,
house.
We don't have to say this is
Diablo
coming
4
up.
good again?
Armory is coming with
Season
season
7.
7 patch 2.1. So, Colin, want to go through it?
Finally,
Absolutely,
dude.
Yeah, this
Finally.
one was a really niche request. We had to dive super deep into the forum.
Yeah.
So that one guy who asked for this is for you. I'm just kidding. This has been a super hot requested feature. We're excited to bring it to everybody.
Wait, it doesn't even cost
everybody's gonna
gold.
get this
That's
update.
good.
Armory is going to allow you to save builds. It's going to save all your equipment, all of your skills, all of your Paragon, all your Paragon.
Finally,
glyphs.
dude.
You can even name it. And what this really allows you to do is be a lot more flexible in the end game, right? So if you're really liking your Fireball build, but you got this really sweet Ball Lightning unique, now it's really easy to just save off that Fireball build if you ever want to come back to it, and you can start building out.
I'm
that
wondering
Ball
if it's gonna
Lightning,
also change
build. So we're
aspects, 'cause,
really
like, what if we
excited
wanna
about
use the
this.
same
We're not going to charge
item,
you for
right?
respecing or anything like that. So you
That's
save it,
cool.
it's
Yeah,
yours.
the gold
It's
doesn't
even
matter
come
anyways,
with,
let's
some
be
cool
honest.
quality of life things where we actually mark all of the equipment that's actually part of an armory slot. And that's really important to know because we're just saving the equipment, right?
Yeah.
So you'll want to know if you're going to modify this item that it would affect any of the loadouts that are currently using this item.
Yeah, if you take a legendary and say change the imprinted aspect on it, you know it's still part of that build, so it might not be the right one.
Yep.
So you do probably want to get multiple sets of gear if you want to be building these up, but it's so much easier to swap between
Yeah,
them.
it's so much
easier
better,
to
dude. Oh.
explore all the new build possibilities that we introduce.
Yeah,
every
dude, we gotta
season,
run
the
that-
new items and
The
and
Ball
updates.
Lightning. And the Ball Lightning
Absolutely.
actually looks like it's
And
the
it's
same
in all the
gameplay
main
though.
towns. It's even in the training rooms, which is very nice.
But, like, I wanna see some new
And
endgame
it's important to note that we will
announcements.
swap it from anywhere. So if the equipment,
Because the
is
other
in
stuff's
your
probably
stash,
open
or if
world,
it's in your
and most of the stuff
inventory,
you're gonna be
you don't
one
have to
shot and
worry about it.
everything,
We'll
right?
Swap it out for you.
Yeah, it'll just it's auto magically does it, which is really nice.
Absolutely.
It makes it as easy as possible for players to be able to really utilize the feature, which I think is great.
Cool. So yeah, we're super excited. We're really leaning.
Still
into the
really good, though,
flexibility.
like-
That's why we've just removed a lot of the
two
costs
things,
to
though,
switch
we still
around,
need-
and
we need
we think
PvP,
this should open up. If you're
and-
playing a druid, you don't have to go make another druid or go through 300 clicks to change out your paragon. So
And an auction
Yeah,
house, and
I
then
think
we're
one
set.
thing I do want to note
But the dupes.
this will be in PTR. We really need people to actually test
Yep.
it. It's a brand new feature. There's a lot of complexities behind it. Obviously,
Yeah,
it's pulling things
yeah,
from
dude, it's
chat,
totally fine
going
if it's
through
buggy
the
in
reports,
PTR.
et cetera.
Like, no
So
problem, man.
Want to make sure that players actually do get opportunity to actually test it during PTR. Give us feedback. It's something that we're going to continuously iterate. One thing I do want to call out is in PTR, it won't have controller support. It will have controller support when we do launch it
Oh.
with patch 2.1.
That's
the
really
final
weird.
patch itself.
Why does it
But
break
for the
controller?
PTR, it won't actually be.
Dude, I wanna
there
get a
won't be
fight
controller
stick and
support
play
on it,
with
so
it-
I just
with this
wanna
game.
Caveat that now for players that are actually going to that do play on controller to note that it won't be there for that specifically. So
Okay, that's fine,
tons
but-
of changes coming for season 7.
I'm liking it,
Obviously,
guys.
all the class
What do you
changes,
think
the
of it?
ultimate changes that Charles talked about.
But I'm hoping we can
the
do more
balance
in
and
endgame, maybe
items related to
Paragons
that.
could be a little
New
bit
rune
adjusted.
words,
Not so long of a
reworked
drive.
rune words as well. We have, of course, all the Season 7 stuff that Dan talked about with the Witchcraft powers, and of course our new gems, the occult gems. So we want players to actually jump in and try those out.
I'm so
and
glad
with
they
all
took-
the
I wanna
cosmic
say
light fixes that we do have.
my
So,
feedback, 'cause I've been
I know we
complaining
do wanna
about
jump into
seasonal
Q&A
powers.
before
Okay.
we
All right. You know,
PTR updates.
there's no chat. How are we supposed to do Q&A?
I can't even follow my own agenda that's like sitting here. On
I don't know, man. All right. Well, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. If there's any really good questions, I'm going to go ahead and add it in like the description of the comments, or if it's good enough, I'll make a separate video. But honestly, let me know, guys, what you think of Season 7. I want to say overall, I want to say it's a double thumbs up for like the seasonal idea. Would really like to see the seasonal theme be able to be like endgame, like where we can do some sort of new activity. While we do have a new activity, a lot of times when it's like, oh, it's a hell tide, but it's a different color. Like we had like the green one during the vampire one. But like I've been telling them constantly again, I love Season 2. Can we get a Season 2 again? So like, yo, Blizzard, shout outs to you guys. I appreciate you watching the Diablo partner videos, because that was my favorite season. And even if they copied it, I said it would be something exciting for the players. And we have newer powers. It's almost like they had like I said before, it's like a witch doctor class, and they just kind of like took it apart and just made it some skills. Who knows? Maybe Witch Doctor will be the next class, and they're just like, well, we got these skills. Let's just let people play around with them. So I think it's cool. But overall, I'm very excited about it. I'm really looking forward to Diablo 4 because it's going in a much positive direction. You guys know, I've been completely honest. When there's not good things with Diablo, I'll let you guys know. And right now, I'm pretty happy with it. But I'm really not a fan of the mythic farming. So hopefully we'll get some updates to that as we get one of the sparks from the rewards. And I'll probably level up every single class, as long as I'm enjoying it enough. And I think that so far, what they revealed is pretty exciting. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, whatever, subscribe. If you guys haven't seen part 1 of the update, I'll also link that down below. But yeah, Season 7 is looking pretty dang good. What do you guys think? Anyways, yeah, I'm going to be...
Just note that if you do... I'm
gonna start the upload of that.
Afterwards, it will also replace those. Yeah. So just
and we got... Guys, we have to move to PoE 2 right now.
Blog, so players are aware. But it is just a caveat that we do want to mention for players, but it does allow for way more flexibility of being able to carry that stuff over.
Okay.
Definitely.
Are they doing Q&A? Okay.
There we go. But
oh, they're going
additions
back.
for the
Okay, we already saw
that. That we have for PTR. Obviously, we'll end up having the new unique items within the character boost that will be available in Season 7 PTR. We'll have, Witchcraft powers, the Witchcraft progression items that we had talked about earlier as well. So those will be all part of the PTR boost. So it gives you guys the tools of being able
so I'm
to
gonna
test
start up the
everything
upload
and
of
getting us
that.
feedback for anything that you guys want to change. Before,
But what's up, Largest? What's up, Black Sparrow? And then,
and patch 2.1.
yeah, Armory's probably the best edition. Yeah, he's looking much better. Yo, shout outs to School of Fire, Wild, Ramesh. Thank you so much.
Just a reminder.
Appreciate all of the TikTok gifts, the hearts, the double hearts, and then the rose.
Will be next Wednesday. Again,
So yeah, we gotta go to. I think we gotta go. We gotta go hop over to PoE, guys. PoE is having their announcement right now, so we gotta go.
PTR is planning on starting on December 3rd, so players will be able to jump into PTR then. Of course, it is just PC Battle.net, easier for us and more flexibility for us to be able to do updates and everything from our end for PTR. But I know we have a question teed up, so if you have questions, please put them in chat, and we will...
No, I don't get how we supposed to go for the questions, though. Like, genuinely kind of confused.
There's like a plant here that no one can see, but...
All right, we gotta go to Path of Exile. GG's Diablo, sorry.
Your men, Captain. We will only get one chance.
All right, guys, brand new Path of Exile 2 and 1, I think. I don't know. It's Path of Exile. Let's check it out, man. I'm hyped. So these are the new classes? Let's go.
What do you think he was on about?
It's Dorman.
Dude, it's so cool. Path of Exile's getting cinematics now?
Then Dorman. Shut your damn mouth. Ugh, why do I always get stuck with these rookies?
Hey, the kid's got a mean cleave. Give him a chance. Quiet.
Now, I'm wondering, are the classes gender locked in PoE 2? So
Sullen!
A mean cleave, eh, Captain? Rookie can't even lift his own sword. Captain Oren? Captain? It's here. Rain! Send the signal!
What the fuck?
Rain! On my back will be laid up!
Come on, come on! I'm ready. I'm ready. It's a man.
No, it's not. Run.
I wonder if that's supposed to be like the Druid class. Oh.
Captain! Captain! Captain!
Stop! Humanity isn't ready.
On your feet, lad.
Sir, the captain,
You'll be fine. Here.
He's gonna like kill him. What is that? Oh, this is probably for the PoE 2 logo. Oh.
Get the body.
Stop. Mortal. It can still be contained. You don't know what you have unleashed.
Your kind no longer control this world. We cannot destroy your body, it's true. But you will watch as we destroy everything you have built. Bind him! Feed. Grow, my child. I'll make sure you can eat your fill.
Awesome. I hope we get more cinematics in the entirety of the game, too. Oh, he's still alive. Nice, dude. The PoE 2 trailer looking solid. So I'm guessing they're like corrupting or like infecting people. That's kind of like their thing.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. Now, Path of Exile 2 is going into early access in around 2 weeks on December the 6th. But even though it's early access, this isn't just some small taste. The game is huge. In this live stream, we're going to be introducing everything you can expect. So
All
without
right,
further
everything
ado,
you need
let's
to
roll
know.
the gameplay
Let's
trailer.
go. All right.
Existence is a thing of beauty. Precious, but impermanent. Life and death are mortal enemies, and yet bound to one another.
Whoa, what was that? Like a human centipede over there?
The continuation of life must be protected at all costs.
Whoa, what was that? That was really cool. It's like a laser.
Some have said my methods are brutal.
Yo, the violence is looking like solid in this game too. I like it. Has that like dark, gritty feel.
Without sacrifice.
I think he's like augmented. The soundtrack, super good as well. It's the monk, sorceress, the marauder, or I think they call it the warrior in this game. Oh, the skill tree. The Sorceress looks really cool. I wonder if... I think that was like Succubus. I don't think that's a class. It'd be cool if you could become a demon class. Something like really different in ARPGs. I think, what was that? Wolfson let you do that, right? You could like have this like ultimate form.
We are faced with the
Dude, I'm blown away. This is 2 weeks, guys. And we'll be playing it. What is this? Was there like 100 bosses, guys? Remember, this game's campaign, 50 hours is what they said. And it's got over 100 like super pinnacle bosses. Like they have like their HP bar, they got their own mechanics, 100. Like Diablo has incredible competition, if you even want to call it that. Like honestly, I can't say Season 7's even on the same level. Even though Season 7's pretty good.
Then soon be acquainted with it.
100 bosses is incredible, man.
Now, as you just saw, even in early access, Path of Exile 2 is a big game. It's actually been 5 years since we announced PoE 2, and over that time we've revealed a lot, but it's been in bits and pieces. It's pretty hard to keep track of it all, so today we're going to do a full rundown of all the content that will be available at the start of early access.
Nice, let's
Classes,
go.
Character progression systems,
yes.
and for the first time, a full overview of the endgame.
Oh,
this is going to be a big one, so get comfortable.
Man, endgame is getting revealed.
For 20 years, Rayclast has been free from any sources of corruption, but the Count of Ogham, tempted by promises of power, intends to harness it once more. The dead are rising, monsters are mutating, and madness is spreading. Under the dark influence of corruption, the Count doles out sentences of death to any who would question him.
I love that intro screen. That's really cool. And the way the game starts, that is super, super cool.
And this is where you find yourself at the start of PoE 2.
All right.
Explore the dark forests of Ogham. Traverse the barren...
No, no, PoE, what's going on? PoE? Is this everyone? Oh, look, it's not me. Okay. Everyone's saying, oh, yeah.
Delve into the jungle ruins of Exile, an ancient Vaal city.
It's their server. Okay, are we back? All right, well, to keep it entertaining, we'll keep the chat open for funsies.
Challenging monsters, hidden runes, lost camps and treasures. Roaming merchants, and of course, unique bosses. No two areas are the same. It falls to you to track down the seed of corruption, the source of all this devastation. On the way, you'll face fearsome monsters, meet strange
like wolf
characters,
people?
forge unlikely bonds, and uncover lost civilizations. But
Classes.
first, you'll need to pick a class. Now, early access will initially have 6 classes available. Let's have a look at them. The Monk is a fast and furious melee fighter. He dashes in and out of combat and has mechanics that involve building up and keeping momentum. Like all classes in PoE 2, you'll want to use a wide variety of skills to mix and match different combos. To get...
Dude, I feel so bad for him because like it was looking so good.
To get new skills, you'll first need to find skill gems.
Dang, dude, look how many
Using
people
a
are
skill gem will
subbing with
open
the Prime.
gem cunning menu, which shows all the active skills available in PoE 2. You can choose an existing...
Technical difficulties. All right. I don't know how long this screen's gonna go on. Even though, what the heck is wrong with the audio too? Hold on. Are we good? Okay. Well, I don't know how long this is going to take, but I'm gonna go and stop it right here for part 1, so we're not watching nothing. But dude, so far what I've seen, dude, it is looking like a 11 out of 10 game. This might be the next Diablo. It might be the next. Well, I mean, I know it's not Halo 2. Like in terms of like the gameplay, but I'm saying like this is going to be the next big game. This is the next Overwatch. This is the next Fortnite. Like this is going to be, at least from what I see so far, like the next big game, especially for action RPGs, like 100%. Now it's going to be people that are playing like Call of Duty. Are they going to be hopping in? Probably not. But I'm just saying on the level of action RPGs, this is without a doubt, looking so far to be absolutely top tier. But what do you guys think of what you've seen so far? Let me know down below, and I'm going to continue to react to it, so I'm going to have to drop part 2. Well, whenever they finish this. This could be later. I don't know when this is going to happen, but it's looking double, triple, quadruple thumbs up right now. The game is looking very, very good. I'm hyped. My level is at 11 right now for the game. But yeah, we're just gonna chill, guys, until they fix this. I don't know how long this is going to take, but while we're waiting, I gotta take a piss, man. I'll be right back. But we're gonna see what else PoE 2 has, dude. It's hype. All right. What was said about D4? Oh, we're good. We're good.
Are we facing here?
Oh, we already watched this part. They're gonna fast forward us probably to the same spot.
Tends to harness. There are 21 active skills for quarterstaves.
All right, let's continue. PoE 2.
The surface of the options that you have.
Let's go. The monk.
Again, you'll be dashing from pack to pack, spewing where you find yourself at
the
start of PoE 2.
Okay, here we go.
Explore the dark forests of Ogham. Traverse the barren plains of the Vesteri Desert. And delve into the
all right, guys,
ruins of
part
Exile
2. Let's go. PoE 2 gameplay reveal.
Challenging monsters, hidden runes,
and the early access content.
And treasures.
And endgame is what they said too.
And of course, unique bosses.
Yeah, 100. 100 unique bosses.
To you to track down the seed of corruption, the source of all the
so is that the boss?
On the way, you'll face fearsome monsters, meet strange characters, forge
like wolf people,
bonds, and uncover lost civilizations. But first, you'll need to pick a class.
Okay, let's go.
Now, early access will initially have 6 classes available.
You know, I might actually have to start it from here. Let's do this. All right, Path of Exile 2, guys. Let's go. Brand new content.
Of combat and has mechanics that involve building up and keeping momentum.
Okay, so this is the monk class.
In PoE 2.
It's got the bell like in D3, man.
To mix and match different combos. To get new skills, you will first need to find skill gems.
Uncut.
Using a skill gem will open the gem cutting menu.
I actually love this. It's such a cool idea.
Woo! You can choose an existing skill to level up.
What class are you guys going to be playing at the start?
Since this is a level 7 skill gem,
I'm probably going to go Ranger, man.
Will immediately be level 7. So there's no harm in trying something new.
That's fantastic, man.
The monk primarily uses the quarterstaff. There are 3 schools of martial arts: lightning, ice,
we'll go lightning arrow, man,
and wind. But don't think you have to stick to just one. The best combos are going to involve mixing elements of all 3.
Yeah, you gotta get that secrets of suffering, man.
Many monk skills, this can be used to quickly take advantage of a specific situation. If there's an enemy on low life, you can use Killing Palm to dash to them and kill them instantly. This will provide a power charge.
So look at the top left. Looks like there's also rage.
Power charge for a much more devastating attack. The monk also has powerful combo skills. Tempest Bell, for example, is a skill that places a giant resonating bell. Hitting the bell causes it to ring, dealing damage to all enemies around it. You can also do things like
there's only 2 potions in PoE 2. I just noticed that. You guys see that? 2 potions only.
The monk also has a variety of abilities to empower his staff.
Maybe you unlock him, I don't know.
If an enemy is close to being stunned, you can use Staggering Palm to punch them down.
This game actually looks really hard too.
Will shoot out wind projectiles.
Like the monsters are hitting for way harder.
There are 21 active skills for quarterstaves. So this just scratches the surface of
we need to throw on
by endgame, you'll be dashing from
grace and determination.
Obliterating screens of enemies with huge combo attacks.
Was that like a beam?
Now, if you like a style of melee that's a little slower but hits much harder, then the warrior is for you. He
like a legendary beam.
With big chunky attacks and can shrug off the hits of small enemies with large amounts of armor.
Cool.
Even though the mace slams are slow, you never lose control. Longer attacks can be retargeted as you go.
That's really good. That quality of life. Wow. Holy, this is looking good. Do we have like closed captioning on this? I don't think so.
For maces, you'll find a variety of slams, fire attacks, war cries, and shield skills.
Oh man, this is insane. The flails too? Look at, do you guys see how many weapons?
Slam skill will then cause these fissures to erupt with lava. I can even run through them with a skill like Stampede to do huge amounts of damage. warrior can also use war cries, which can empower your next skill. Seismic Cry, for example, will double any slams from your next attack. The Stampede counts as a slam, so I can double that for even more craziness. If you want to go a little faster and be a little more defensive, equip a shield.
You could remember, you could use WASD
at any time to block all damage from the front.
Oh, wait, all damage? Wait, that actually might be fun
While
though.
holding up your shield, your stun meter will build as you take damage.
Oh,
so be careful. If it reaches 100%, your stance will break and you will be vulnerable.
I wonder if there's a unique that's gonna make it so you can never break. You could just block.
Attacks, which
Oh.
red flash.
Oh, that's at least fair.
Make sure to dodge out
Okay,
of the way.
they gave you enough time. Dude, I kind of want to play this just because it seems fun.
Shield skills, like shield charge,
Like, normally I hate
which allows
slow
you to charge
classes.
towards enemies and stun them.
But that is too cool,
While
man.
charging, you're also blocking the whole time, so you have
Like, this feels like a next-gen game. It's what Lineage Eternal was supposed to be.
Totems. Some totems have built-in abilities, like Shockwave Totem, which can be placed to stun nearby enemies and trigger aftershocks like those from the Earthquake.
Dude, that's
You can
awesome.
also get Ancestral
Dude, look at the
Warrior totems,
weapons.
which allow you to use any slam skill in your repertoire.
There's also Primal. Wonder
This is a
what that
meta
is.
skill, which means that it's a skill you can put other skills into. I can take a slam like Sunder and socket it into my Ancestral Warrior totem. Now when I summon him, he'll sit there and slam the monsters from a distance. There are 20 active skills for maces, so there's a lot more to try out. But by endgame, you're going to be dropping hammers from the sky, leaping fearlessly into combat, and separating the very earth you stand on.
Man, this looks so good.
Time for some ranged attacks. The ranger is primarily about the bow, but we wanted to make sure that she feels agile as well. In
Yeah, you can
PvE2,
move and
you can
shoot.
while
Yes.
moving.
Dude, that's
Combined
gonna be
with
so
all the skills
good.
The ranger has that allow you to jump around, you will have a lot of mobility in combat.
Oh, I want to see Lightning Arrow, because
Both
that...
skills have a
Could we have
variety
Lightning
of
Arrow?
lightning, poison, ice, and physical
Lightning
attacks.
Arrow level 1, boys.
Lightning attacks
It's
bounce
so
around between
good.
targets. You can also stick lightning arrows in the ground which explode when hit by the bouncers, or electrocute enemies to take them out
Dude,
of
look at how
combat.
the enemies look, too. All of the animations are, like, super
Ice
good.
attacks allow you to slow and freeze enemies to keep them away from you. Using poison, not only can you slowly damage your enemies from afar, but also grow some interesting plants.
Is that like toxic?
21 bow skills, and all
Toxic
the
rain?
mobility and combo tools the ranger has, you can take advantage of every situation. By endgame, you'll be creating hundreds of arrows, be they falling from the sky, bouncing around between enemies, or spraying out of tornadoes. You might have noticed in the bottom left of the screen that the flask slots look a
Oh,
little
yeah.
different. In PoE 2, you have one dedicated life flask slot and one mana flask slot.
No utility
Flasks
flask.
gain charges as you kill enemies, and typically allow you to heal 6 or 7 times if they're full. But that's not the only thing you can use charges for. Charms are a new item type that will automatically defend you from various debuffs or damage types. Having trouble with getting frozen? Equip a Thawing Charm. When it's fully charged, it will make you immune to freeze for 3 seconds if you get frozen.
Oh.
To recharge them, just kill more monsters.
But what about bosses?
You
Like,
can gain more
you know?
slots for charms by upgrading
Oh.
your belt.
Okay. It's kind of like just, I mean, I usually throw in like
Mercenary
the
wields a
auto
club
flask,
that can be
so.
loaded with different ammo types, offering versatility, power, and mobility. All classes
PoE
in
2,
Path of
yes.
Exile 2 can be controlled with WASD, which makes this class play exactly like a shooter. For the crossbow, you will find skills that work like shotguns, sniper rifles, assault rifles, and even grenade launchers. But not only that, there are a wide variety of more interesting elemental ammos too.
The reload sounds
It's very
really
fast
cool
to switch
too.
between ammo types, so long as you already have them loaded, which makes the mercenary able to combo abilities together for devastating effects.
That seems like it could be fun. I wish they did dual wield with that.
Use
It would have been
glacial
cool
vault to
too.
create walls of ice to separate enemies, then switch to fragmentation rounds to explode the ice, dealing massive AoE damage. If I come across an armored enemy, I could use armor-piercing rounds to break their armor, and then high-velocity rounds to take them down. Or perhaps I could fire a gas grenade to poison enemies before detonating the cloud with an explosive shot for massive damage.
Like, it's crazy that this game is only like
If you want to call in
1
some
or 2
suppressive
years
fire,
after
you can
Diablo
summon
4.
artillery ballistas.
Like,
These have a minimum range, so you'll want to prepare your position carefully before
like the game
moving
just
in.
looks so good.
There are 22 active skills for crossbows. By endgame, you'll be calling destruction down from the sky as you litter the battlefield with grenades and pepper your enemies with your automatic shotgun. If you're looking to take a backseat and let your minions do the work, then the Witch should be your choice. She can call forth hordes of undead monsters to fight for her while casting powerful chaos spells that debilitate her enemies. Occult skills are some of the most varied in the game, with skeletons, noxious spells, specialty minions, curses, and sacrificial magic. Before we talk about minions, we'll have to talk about a new resource in Path of Exile 2 called Spirit. This is a Spirit gem, which allows you to pick from a range of persistent skills. All classes have a variety of these skills which can add some very interesting effects.
We have all the classes
like
right there, dude.
Armor, which does cold damage to enemies that hit you.
We're definitely going Ranger at the start, dude. Lightning arrow.
You cast a fire spell.
Unless I see something cooler.
For which, though, we'll want to be using our Spirit to create permanent minions. These minions will be revived automatically when they die, so you don't have to worry about.
I actually really like that though, like the resummoned minions, but like, can you compete with Lightning Arrow? I don't know. We'll see, man.
I would like in my horde. You can see the Spirit cost of each one. Skeletal warriors are cheap but weak, useful for tanking damage and distracting enemies. But I want more heavy hitters in my army, so I'm going to unsummon some warriors and instead add skeletal arsonists.
So where does it? Oh, it's on the bottom
Permanent
right.
Minions come with special active abilities called command skills. You can order these guys to detonate your own minions for even more damage and area of effect. If you want a bigger army, you'll need a scepter. This new weapon type is imbued with even more spirit, allowing you to summon even more friends.
Ah, okay, you get increased
If
spirit.
you want an even bigger army than that, you can take advantage of corpses to summon true hordes of minions. But what can a witch do while her army is at work? Well, she has a range of chaos spells to spread disease amongst your enemies, or bone skills to impale them. Or, you know, you could curse them to make them weaker so your horde can take them down. There are 25 active occult skills. By the endgame, you will be the leader of a fearsome army of the dead, consuming everything in its path. The Sorceress bends the elements to her will, using them to unleash devastation on her foes. This classic spellcaster weaves a flurry of elemental magic from afar. The elemental skills have
I know,
everything
Arc
you
is
might
really
expect
fun
and
too,
more.
man.
Fireballs, icy explosions, lightning storms, you get the idea. Each spell is unique and has many different ways to build and combo
Man,
with
those
others,
skills
even
look
between
so
different
good.
elements. For example, Flame Wall conjures a burning line that not only damages enemies, but also empowers all projectiles that pass through it. If you place a wall and fire lightning sparks through it, they'll gain extra fire damage. It's a good idea to take advantage of the ability to automatically swap weapons when you use certain skills. Having a special staff with bonuses to fire skills and another with bonuses to lightning skills can really power up a combo like this. The Sorceress can also take advantage of powerful trigger gems. For example, you could grab the Cast and Ignite gem and use it with Firestorm. As you ignite enemies, a counter will go up in the top left corner. When it's full, a Firestorm will automatically be cast at the enemy that was ignited. There are 25 active elemental skills.
Ooh.
By endgame, you'll be firing off projectiles left and right as you rain down elemental storms on your foes. Now, those are the characters that will be available at the start of early access.
Okay.
But we will be adding 6 more character classes with just as many skills and options as these. There's a lot more to come.
So not everything's available in the beta, which is fine.
There's one more important thing to
or the
mention
early
about
access.
skills. Even though we talk about them as belong to each class, in reality there are no restrictions.
Oh,
You can
yes!
use all these skills on
Okay.
any class, so long as you have the attributes.
Cool. So it's like literally like PoE 1.
Poison
Like you're
Ranger
not
might
limited.
Want to try out using occult curses to increase her poison damage.
Nah, dude.
Or
Curse on
Armory might
hit.
Want to trigger elemental ice walls to use with his glacial cascade combo. The possibilities for cross-class combos are practically unlimited.
And manually
We're looking
casting is
forward to what kind of
outdated,
things
man.
You guys might find.
I'm hoping they still have cast on
Exile is a
hit
game known for
or
build
curse on hit.
customization, and we haven't even scratched the surface of what is possible yet. So let's talk about support
gems. Okay, that was it for the classes. Let's just kind of cut it for there. What do you guys think of the classes?
Gems that can be combined with your active skills to dramatically change the way they work.
All right,
If you
PoE
find a
2
support gem, then
gems.
clicking it will open up this screen. Here you will find a variety of recommended support gems for each of your skills that you can pick between.
Okay.
For example, this is a multiple projectiles support gem and can be used to add multiple projectiles to any skill.
Not even a lesser. You
Normally,
start
when
off with
fire a
the
grenade, it'll look like
regular.
this.
Okay.
But if
It's
we add
probably
multiple
just an intro
projectiles,
to
then
it.
You get 3 of them.
Yeah. What about
Once you have
GMP?
the gem, you can also freely move it between any of the skills in your character. If you want to have a multi-shot sniper rifle instead, then simply move the gem over to your high-velocity round skill.
Oh, so it
Generally
shoots them
speaking, if it sounds like
straight?
a support gem should work with a skill, then it will work. So it's a good idea to experiment. Note that you can only have one of each support gem on your character, so you'll want to think carefully about which supports can be used best with each skill for maximum damage.
Oh, so you can't run this, like 2 of
Now,
the
if
same,
you want
even
to
if it's a
stick to the
different skill?
recommendations, you should have a perfectly good time. But if you want to experiment a bit more, then uncheck that recommended button. And you can
Yes.
see the full list of supports that will work.
Yeah,
with
that's
your
really
skill.
good for beginners
There are
too.
hundreds of support gems to choose from, and even we don't know the results of all the possible ways these can interact. Each skill can have up to
Awesome.
5 supports socketed into it.
Okay, so
And if you're
6 is
clever,
still
you can
max?
come up with some pretty interesting ideas. Now all of this is just scratching the surface. You can make frost vortexes, break people's armor, make minions explode, make skills repeat, make enemies set each other on fire, cull enemies, or pin them to the ground. Supports let you drastically change the behavior of your skills and create your own unique build, or at least follow someone's OP build guide.
I like how they
Speaking
mentioned
of
that.
builds, let's talk about one of the most iconic Path of Exile systems.
So there's the gem system and then the
passive
passives for PoE 2.
Yes, it's huge.
Is it
There
the
are
same
over
or
1,500
different?
nodes on there. Now, a lot of people open the tree and can get a little intimidated at first, but try not to be scared. There are lots of options, but at its core, it's pretty simple. Each level you get 1 point to put into the tree. Each class starts at a different location, but they all share the same tree. Around your section of the tree, you'll find relevant bonuses for your character. You should be safe in the knowledge that there aren't many wrong choices here. Almost all the starting nodes will be useful for your character in some way.
Oh wait, on some of those
But
you
if
can
do
choose
happen
what
to
you
make a
want.
choice you regret,
That's definitely
you'll
new.
be able to respec any nodes you've taken by spending a little bit of gold.
Okay.
Now, the tree is generally divided up into clusters which have similar themes. In each cluster you will find small nodes that give simple bonuses like increased damage, but the real power comes from notables. Notables normally have much more interesting bonuses, and they tend to care a lot more about how your build works and what skills you're using. For example, in the mercenary area of the tree, this one gives a 25% chance for crossbow skills to not consume a bolt. And here's one that gives grenades a chance to blow up a second time.
That's a pretty good one, like
This one
double
gives a chance
damage.
for projectiles to rebound off terrain, as well as giving you some pierce chance to make that more likely.
Okay.
Note that even though this is in the mercenary section, this would work with projectiles from all classes. So there
Okay.
are often reasons to go to different areas of the tree.
I'm so far 100% lightning arrow
To
with
get
that.
Between these clusters, you will generally have to
I like
allocate
that.
nodes in the attribute highways. Attribute nodes allow you to pick which attribute you would like to
That's
use.
so much better.
It's very easy to get
Yeah.
points for any attribute that your gear might need. You can change which attribute these nodes give you
Ah.
for half price at the respec vendor.
Okay.
In addition to notables, you will also find even larger
Chaos
assets
inoculation?
called
Ah, it is,
keystones.
man.
Keystones have both an upside and a downside, and often require changing your entire build to design around them. A great example is Giant's Blood, which allows you to wield two-hand weapons in a single hand, but doubles the attribute requirements of them.
That's cool.
Use a
I
two-hand
like
mace
that,
with a
man.
Shield, or even dual wield them.
Dude, dual two-handers. Let's go. Double chaos. Dude, that's gonna be
Mind over
so
matter, which
cool.
makes all damage go to your mana pool first before your life pool, but you lose 50% of your mana regen. Skills like these can be tough to
Yeah,
build
this is the
with,
kind of stuff
but
that
if
I
you're up for the
really love
challenge, they can
PoE
be
for.
Very rewarding. As we showed you earlier on the Sorceress, you can swap between weapon sets on the fly as you use certain skills. One of the new features in Path of Exile
Oh,
2's
yes, this is
passive tree
cool.
is that you can
Man.
choose to have your passive tree change as you switch between weapon sets
Heck
to take
yes.
advantage of specific bonuses on the tree. For the Sorceress, you might want to change between fire and lightning specialization. Or you could switch between one hand and a two-hand setup in order to be able to block boss attacks while following up with heavy hits from your bigger mace.
That seems really cool too, though, like the
Perhaps you could have a full
block.
curse setup on your witch to debuff enemies before switching to a chaos degen build for maximum damage.
Especially if it's got good animation canceling, that could be really fun for the
If you want to
bosses.
stick with just one weapon set, you can just use these specialization points as bonus points to invest however you like. But creative players will find plenty of
Oh yeah,
opportunities
the
with
fact
this
that you can
system.
swap weapons and it swaps the thing, dude,
You
that's
get
so
weapon
cool.
Specialization points throughout the campaign from optional bosses and quests. For example, if I manage to defeat the Crowbell, I'll get a weapon specialization book.
Ah, okay.
There are lots of other permanent
Is it the
boosts
map?
available
Wait,
for
how
the
many
campaign
acts?
too.
6,
On the map,
7,
you can see
8,
icons
9.
that
So it's
indicate the
9
many
acts?
optional encounters you can
But I'm
find.
guessing you can only
Some
play
of
up to
them have
6.
permanent character boosts, and others have powerful items. If you're having trouble getting past a boss, it might be a good idea to explore and see what you can find. For example, if you defeat Blackjaw the Remnant, you'll gain a permanent increase to fire resistance.
Okay.
One of the most important finds are spirit bonuses. You can find the first one here in the Canopy in Act 1. Defeat the boss in this area to acquire a permanent addition of spirit. The permanent buffs you gain from spirit are very powerful, and every class will find a use for them, so make sure you hunt down these upgrades. There's one in each act.
Okay.
Now we haven't even talked about the most important element of character progression, items. That's why we're all here, right? Items in Path of Exile can be broken down into 4 rarity groups: normal, magic, rare, and unique.
Quill Rain!
One of the things
Yeah.
you're going to want to do as you play through the campaign is upgrade the items you find, and you can do that with currency items. An Orb of Transmutation will allow you to upgrade a normal item to a magic item with one mod. You can then apply an Orb of Augmentation to add a second mod, then use a Regal Orb to add a third mod, and upgrade it to a rare. Finally, you can use some Exalted Orbs to add more mods to your rare to a total of 6 mods. One of the things we think is really important is to make these options available to use as you play. All the items that add mods are much more common than they were in Path of Exile 1.
Oh, that's really
You can
good.
use them throughout your campaign.
Yeah, especially with like Exalted. I think that's a good
Find
idea.
things on the ground that can be crafted into upgrades much more frequently.
But what about those divines though? Is that
As well as making the
still
drop rates on these
for
items
crafting?
much more common, you
Disenchant.
can also get them
Oh,
by disenchanting unwanted gear at the magic item.
dude, that's
table.
so
If you
beginner
disenchant
friendly.
Magic items you can build up to an
Oh.
Orb of Transmutation, and by disenchanting rares you can build up to Regal Orbs.
Oh, just only up to
Another
Regal. What about
important area
chaos?
of crafting items
Chaos
here too
recipes
is
still?
sockets. Some items you find will have sockets that can have Ezomite runes placed in them that add more mods to the item. If I insert this glacial rune into my helmet, it will give extra cold resistance. This is
Can
a
I
great way
unsock
to
it for
solve
free?
problems that you have with your build, like resistances or
Once
damage.
socketed, it cannot be
If you find
removed.
socketed
It's
items
permanent,
that you don't have use
guys.
for, you can take them to the salvage bench in town to work towards an Artificer's Orb.
Oh.
This will allow you to add sockets to your existing
Oh, so it's like
items.
really easy. Okay, so this is
Body
fine.
armors and two-hand weapons can have up to 2 sockets, while the rest of your armor and one-hand weapons can only have 1 socket.
Okay.
You can also salvage items with quality to create items like armor scraps or whetstones. These will allow you to increase the quality of your items for an up to 20% boost.
Oh, so it's like same as PoE 1.
If you don't want to disenchant or salvage your items, you can always sell them for gold. Gold can be used to buy items from vendors, and we've tried to do a lot to make sure that the items they have for sale are actually useful.
Dude, that Diablo shade.
So make sure to check back often. Other vendors offer a gamble. Pay a flat amount of gold and you'll get a random item of a specific type. This could be a great way to improve your gear, if you're lucky. Gold is also used to respec your passive skills. Take advantage of the system to experiment with your tree and rework it as required. The other thing you might want to use gold for is the currency exchange. This allows you to exchange currency items with other players.
Oh,
on
they
an
literally
open
took that
market
from the last
in
season of
exchange for a
PoE.
small gold fee.
Okay, that's still good.
All items in Path of Exile are
Really
freely tradable.
Yes,
Never bind anything to
yes,
your character,
yes,
except gold.
yes. Oh, that's fine. Which makes sense. But can you trade the gold?
Now, most gear
Or
in
they
Path
said
of
it was
Exile 2 is randomly
bind though,
generated,
right?
But there's another type that isn't. Uniques. They are especially rare, each with a handcrafted set of unusual mods which can dramatically change a character's build. They're not just better rare items, they can do much stranger things that can fundamentally change your
40%
character.
movement speed randomly? I don't know if I'd use
Corpse
that.
Wave will
but-
make any corpses you run through explode into clouds of poison.
Dude, you run that with flicker
Sand
stuff.
itself is a body armor that changes your dodge roll into a blink, morphing you
Oh,
into
okay.
sand as you teleport past your foes.
Hmm,
And of
okay.
course, some uniques are just pure hits of dopamine.
Yes.
Quill Rain, which just turns your bow attacks into full auto by doubling your attack speed. Each unique is something that you can build your character around. We try to make sure that most unique items have a potential use at endgame, even
Awesome.
if you find them early on.
Cool,
and as
cool.
you can see, every single unique item comes with custom art to match.
Remember, your
The
PoE
last
1
character progression system
cosmetics
you
will
can do
work
during the
too.
campaign is Ascension. Starting in Act 2, you will come across Ascension trials.
Oh.
Tests that you must complete to unlock your Ascension class. We'll explain these trials soon, but first let's take a look at what Ascending can do for your character. Each class has access to 3 Ascendancy classes, but at the start of
Okay.
early access, only 2 per class will be available.
Okay, that's fine.
Ascendancy classes are unique to each character class, so choose wisely. They can drastically affect how you build your character. As a sorceress, you could become a Stormweaver, a master of the elements. Tempest Caller causes elemental storms to be summoned each time you do a critical hit with a spell.
Ooh.
With Strike twice, you can stack 2 copies of Shock for more damage.
Wow.
And going deeper into the tree, you can make all your damage types apply Shock. Make a Shock build from any skill. Alternatively, you could
That's
become
pretty
a
strong.
Chronomancer and command time itself. She literally has the ability to stop time with Time Freeze. Not only that,
Okay,
she
does it
has
work
many
against
other time
bosses,
manipulation
though?
abilities. Using Temporal Rift, she can teleport back to a previous location, resetting her life.
Dang,
down
like
back to
Tracer.
what it was. Or with Time Snap, she can reset all her cooldowns and cast all her spells again.
See, this is the kind of stuff that I think is
On the
really
warrior,
cool with
you
Path
can
of
choose between
Exile.
the Warbringer or the Titan. The Warbringer channels the might of his ancestors to gain tremendous power. Using Answered Call, you can summon ancestral spirits linked to each of your totems. With Jade
The physics
Heritage,
look so good,
you can
too.
encase your body in a protective layer that absorbs all damage until it breaks.
It's like Zanya's hourglass from
Warcaller's
League of
Bow
Legends.
allows you to explode
Holy.
the corpses of your enemies. And with Great Wolf's Howl, you can ignore the cooldowns of your war cries. Let all that anger out.
Dude, especially when you have the Warcries gain infinite
Titan
power,
classes
if that
all
item
about
still
things
exists,
big.
I forget what it's called, but
With Earthbreaker, every slam is a chance to create an aftershock. With Crushing Impacts, every hit becomes a crushing blow, which will allow you to stun your enemies with ease. With Surprising Strength, you can take advantage of stunned enemies to deal 40% more damage. As a ranger, you might choose to be a Deadeye, an expert markswoman who can take down foes with style. With Endless Munitions, every attack gains an extra projectile.
Okay.
With Gathering Winds, she gains a small increase to
This is
movement
just like
speed with every
PoE
attack.
1.
But be careful, she loses them when getting hit. With Eagle Eyes, she will never miss, allowing you to stop wasting all those passive points on accuracy. Alternatively, you could become a Pathfinder, the master of flasks and poison. She can choose from one of several throwable concoctions, allowing her to spend her flask charges to throw explosive bottles that deal various types of damage. A bleeding concoction will make your enemies bleed, while a fulminating one can shock your enemies, allowing you to do extra damage. Contagious Contamination allows her to spread poisons between her foes.
Extra
while
projectiles
overwhelming
is
toxicity
super
doubles the
good.
number of stacks they can be infected by. Running Assault allows her to move much more quickly while firing, while Relentless Pursuit makes her totally immune to being slowed by enemies. The Witch can ascend into the Infernalist or the Blood Mage.
Oh, okay.
As an Infernalist, she
Let's
can
see.
summon a loyal Hellhound companion. The Hellhound sets enemies on fire, as well as taking a percentage of the damage if the Infernalist gets hit. With Pyromantic Pact, you can turn your mana into Infernal Flame. As you cast more spells, the flame builds up, and if it overflows, you'll take damage. Using Bringer of Flame, you'll want to make sure you keep the flames topped up. While your Infernal Flame is above 30%, all damage from you and your minions will ignite enemies. She can also transform into a literal demon.
What?
While in demon form, she takes an increasing amount of damage. But her cast speed and damage
Dude, okay,
increase
I think we gotta
rapidly
play
as well.
this.
So if you're
That's too
planning on
cool.
transforming into a demon, make sure you stack a lot of life recovery. She can also become a blood mage,
Oh,
a master
okay.
of life and energy. All blood mages must pay
Dude, if we can
price,
become a
making
succubus,
skills cost life as
that's
well
cool.
as mana. But in exchange, every monster they kill will drop life remnants, which allow them to quickly gain back that life. With Crimson Power, she can gain large amounts of extra life, and with Vitality Siphon, she can use her spells to leech life back as well. Once you've got a significant amount of life, you can use Gore Spike to make your critical hits deal incredible amounts of damage. A monk who is in tune with the elements might become an Invoker. With Elemental Expression, the Invoker will create waves of elemental power each time he does a critical strike. With Faith as a choice, you gain the ability to meditate, allowing you to double your energy shield. Choose between I am the Blizzard or I am the Thunder to specialize in cold or lightning. And I Shall Rage will allow you to turn into an unbound avatar.
So wait, the monk can transform
Each time you
too?
apply a status ailment to an enemy, you gain Unbound Fury. When you have enough, transform into an avatar to deal way more damage and inflict even more elemental ailments.
I'm hoping you can play like some sort of
monks choose
fist
to
build.
reach into the darkness instead.
Oh, is
The
this
Acolyte
it?
of Chayula can exchange their mastery of spirit for darkness, a resource that can be utilized to both absorb and deal damage. The Shroud of Darkness will protect you from all damage incoming, but if you take Grasp of the Void, you will deal extra chaos damage from all the darkness you have. Their Dark Pact offers greatly increased resistances to chaos damage and can allow their mana leech to not only happen instantly, but apply to their energy shield as well. Another node you can take is Waking Dream, which allows you to see into the domain of the Breach Demons. There you will see the Flames of Chayula that can be taken to gain life, mana, and damage. The Mercenary has a job to do, but which job suits you? You might choose to become a Witch Hunter. Obsessive Rituals will give you a sorcery ward, allowing you to defend yourself against elemental hits in exchange for less defense against attacks. With Zealous Inquisition, your enemies have a 10% chance to explode on death. The chance is doubled against demons and undead.
Okay, it's
With
kind of cool.
Judge, Jury, and Executioner, your
Yeah,
initial hit
remember
against
that
enemies
explodey
can deal
chest back
30%
in the
of their
day?
life and damage, if you're lucky. This is great for hunting powerful bosses. And with Witchbane, you can break your enemy's concentration, preventing them from casting spells as often as they would usually do. You could also choose to become a Gemling Legionnaire, enhancing your abilities by embedding gems directly in your flesh.
What?
Integrated efficiency will give you
3?
extra skill
What?
slots.
Dude, that is insane.
Mythological infusion gives you extra maximum resistance.
That's gotta be the best, dude. 3 extra skills
Adaptive
slots.
capability allows you to use any color of gem.
Dude, this is the best class. Although I'm probably gonna play the demon girl.
Extra quality bonuses to every gem socketed into your character.
What? 12 to
Those
all
are the
the
ascendancy classes for the start.
12% quality on all the gens
We haven't talked
and
about
3
yet how you
extra.
ascend in the first place.
I don't know how you
Ascension
compete with
in
that.
Path of Exile 2
That's
requires
crazy.
completion of one of the great trials.
Okay, let's
which
see
you'll
this.
find as you progress through the campaign. Each one is associated with one of the major cultures of Rayclast.
So yeah, those are all the
Located in
classes at
vast
launch, but
airy plains
there
of the
are
Marrakech,
more. I
a
think
culture
6 more?
of rich tales and brutal traditions who must do whatever it takes to survive in the desert. The highest position in Marrakech culture is a Sekima, and it is not a title given freely. All aspirants must complete the Trial of the Sekimas, a grueling gauntlet that will test their strength, will, cunning, and patience. To enter, a warrior of the Marrakech must prove their worth by trapping the soul of a djinn in a coin, and you are no different. Once you have earned your coin, it may be placed in the relic altar to begin the trial.
Just the way the game like is
In the trial of the
shown
Sekimas,
is so
each
well
room
done
has its
too,
own
man.
challenges to overcome. In this room, each rare monster you kill will send its blood to the chalice in the center of the room. Once the chalice is filled, you will be able to proceed. While fighting monsters in the trial, you will need to be very careful. Each hit will not only hurt you, but will damage your honor. The monsters are well telegraphed, so that you can avoid their attacks, but if you run out of honor, you will fail the trial and need to find another coin in order to try again. It is a good idea to make sure that you are well prepared before challenging the Trial of the Sekimas. After each room, you will be rewarded. In this case, you have been given a key that can be used to unlock chests later in the trial. Once you have claimed your reward, you will be shown a map of the rest of the floor and may choose how you wish to proceed. Which challenges would you like to face, and which rewards do you want to claim? Some rooms are more dangerous, afflicting you with debuffs that will persist for the entire trial. For example, entering this room will afflict you with Spiked Shell that will cause all monsters in the rest of the trial to have 50% increased life. You will want to take care if you choose such a path. There are many different challenges and rewards as you journey through the trial. Deadly traps, waves of monsters, and strange artifacts will test your honor. As you progress, you'll be able to gain boons from the djinn, which will help you on your journey. For example, the Sekima's cloak will revive you once if you die, giving you a second shot at a run. One of the rewards you may find is Sacred Water, an extremely valuable and treasured resource to the djinn and the Marrakech. Trading it with the djinn will allow you to receive many benefits. You can recover honor, gain additional boons, or remove afflictions. At the end of the floor, you'll find a powerful boss which will truly test your limitations. In order to ascend, you will need to defeat him.
Okay, that's cool. I've always actually liked the ascend, like especially the very first time you do it. It's exciting.
Having defeated the boss, you've earned the right to ascend. But first, the loot. The keys you have found may be used to open the various treasures in the vault at the end of the floor.
Let's see what they get.
You only have a single bronze key, so we'll just have to open one of these small chests. If you want to open the better ones, you'll need silver or gold keys. Let's use the Altar of Ascendancy. Your first ascension will allow you to pick your class and grant you 2
Infernalist
points to use
is
in the
so
tree.
cool, man.
Now there are more
The
flaws and many more
transformation.
rewards that can be found within the Trial of the Sekimas.
But that
We'll
triple
save that
gen one,
section on the
I can't
For
deny
now,
it.
let's
Like
talk
that's
about
got to be the
second
best.
Ascendancy Trial, the Trial of Chaos. In Path of Exile 2, you can choose whichever trial you like to earn your ascension. Each culture on Rayclast had their own methods to ascend. If the Trial of the Sekimas is not your kind of playstyle, or you're finding it too difficult, you could try another. You can gain all your ascension points from just one, or mix and match them. It's up to you. For early access, we will have 2 trials as options, with a 3rd trial coming later for the full release.
Nice.
While exploring the Vaal jungle, you'll discover the Temple of Chaos. Before the Vaal embraced the science of corruption, their civilization worshipped chaos. This ancient trial was once used by the Vaal to test their high priests. A high priest of the Vaal must show willingness to risk everything to gain power. Entry to the trial requires a token from a strange entity known only as the Trial Master. For those in which he sees potential, he shall inscribe an ultimatum. Many have attempted these trials in search of greatness. Most have perished. Will you be able to defy the odds?
Ultimate was
Before
probably
you
my
begin
favorite
each
league,
chamber,
man. I like
the
that
Trial
league.
Master will offer you a reward and a choice. Choose one of 3 tribulations to affect you through the rest of the trial. These modifiers might beef up the monsters, curse the player, or add environmental hazards like turrets or trap runes. In this case, we'll be picking shocking turrets. As you enter the room, the Trial Master will fill it with hazards to test your commitment. In this case, you must destroy all the monsters that fill the room, while dealing with the lightning projectiles from the shocking turrets. After each room, you will need to make a choice. Take the rewards you have earned so far, or go double or nothing. Increase your rewards, but take on more risk.
I like it,
Each
yeah. It makes
tribulation
it
you
fun.
add is minor on its own, but they quickly stack on top of each other and can become overwhelming.
I like it because it's like a
There are
risk
many
reward
types of
without like
changes in the trial.
playing
Each
hardcore.
will test your resolve
You
in
know?
different ways.
You still lose
This
out on
one
your
simply
items.
requires you survive for a certain amount of time. Another requires you to escort the stone idol through the level as elevators full of monsters descend to attack you. Should you be able to get through the first 3 chambers, you will face your first boss.
Ooh, okay.
The order of the bosses is random, and combined with the tribulations you have selected, the fight will never feel the same. After defeating the boss, you may claim your rewards. Of course there are the items, but you also gain the right to ascend. If you already did the Trial of the Sycamores, then you can claim 2 more points to add to your Ascendancy class.
So you get 4 total in the
Now, it's possible to
beta.
go much deeper. There are more bosses, rewards, and risks to take, but we'll talk more about that when we get to endgame.
Ooh, I can't wait to
So
see
how
that.
about we talk about that now?
Oh, endgame? Oh, okay.
So far, we've only
I'll cut it
been
right
showing
here,
footage
man.
from the campaign.
We got to see the endgame in a separate
Some people
one.
would argue that the endgame is where the game truly begins.
All right, guys. Path of
Something
Exile
that happens almost
endgame.
every time a new action RPG launches is people saying there isn't enough endgame.
Dude, that's Diablo shade, man.
Here we too, people don't feel that way. And we
Oh,
actually only
that's good to
changed
hear,
our development
man.
Priority for this recently. The first
All right.
3 acts of PoE2 already take around 25 hours to
Dude, they
complete
said,
if you're a new player.
they said it was 50
This is already
hours.
a pretty significant
50-hour campaign, boys.
On the other hand, people
Yeah,
spend
it is
hundreds
free,
of
dude.
hours in endgame each league.
Yes.
We realized that finishing the rest of the campaign for early access was actually a bad idea. Instead of having acts 4 to 6 in early access, we're
Okay.
going to concentrate on endgame and make that great. For new players, a 25-hour campaign is already a huge game with lots of content. But for existing action RPG players, what you mostly
Dude,
care about
he's
is
hitting
the
all
in-game
the nails on the
challenges
head right
that
now.
overcome.
Holy.
So several months ago, we switched the entire development team's focus over to making in-game content.
Hell yeah,
At the start
dude.
of early access, there will be 50 bosses and around 400 monster types.
50
But
bosses.
the great thing is that the rest of the game is like 80% there. We'll be adding content to roughly double the size of the game during early access and into release.
Dang, that's
Now, in order
huge,
to make
man.
the end game happen at the same character level as what it would be after we added the rest of the acts, we've added a second difficulty level called Cruel, where you repeat the campaign with all the monsters and bosses leveled up.
Okay.
And of course, new rewards. You can kind of think of it as like a new game plus. It's also a lot faster to get through the content the second time as your clear speed increases. That will take you to around level 65, where the end game begins. Once we add the remaining 3 acts, we'll be removing Cruel difficulty.
Okay.
So you'll progress straight from the end of Act 6 to endgame.
So there's 6
What is the
acts.
endgame? To explain that, I'll hand over to
Yes.
Mark. He can tell you all about it.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. Well, one thing that Path of Exile is known for is having a lot of distinct endgame content to choose between. Each endgame mechanic needs to have its own progression system, areas, bosses, rewards, and player power that can only be gained from that content. We are going to be adding a lot more over time, but for Path of Exile 2 we decided to start with 7 distinct systems you can progress through.
This is the Atlas, and it serves as the core of the endgame for Path of Exile 2. It's infinite and expands in all directions. Now, we are not going to spoil the plot too much here, but corruption from the beast has blighted the land, and your objective is to help fight it. In the center of the Atlas you will find the Ziggurat, a temple in which the Vaal research the fundamentals of space and time. Here, we can open portals to nearby locations and begin cleansing corruption and finding resources. In order to power the portal device, we will need waystones. Each waystone has a tier which will determine the level of the monsters that you will face. To go to an area, simply click one that is adjacent to an area that you have already completed. Insert the waystone and click Traverse. Portals will open, allowing you and your party to travel to the area you have selected. All the areas in the endgame feel distinct from the locations in the campaign.
Oh, is that Flicker Strike?
Randomization up to 11. The monster
Oh,
packs
is
you will
that?
face in each map are totally random, and the combination of them can lead to some very interesting combat situations. There are over 400 monster types in early access, and they have a lot of varied and interesting abilities. Depending on which combinations you face, you might find some serious challenges. In order to cleanse the corruption from the area, you will need to defeat all the
Yeah, we're gonna go to the
rare
back
and
roll,
unique
dude.
enemies in it. Once you have done that, the area will be marked as completed and you will be able to travel past it to progress deeper into the world. If you die, then the map can no longer be run, and you will have to find another way around to get to the areas behind it.
What if you
There
fail
are
all
also
of them?
all kinds of other random encounters you might run into as you play maps. One such encounter are precursor artifacts. These are ancient, corrupting monuments that irradiate the monsters around them. The monsters that feed off the corruption are drawn to their power. If you defeat the monsters and cleanse the artifact, you will get a powerful temporary buff. Some of the buffs make you faster, others rain lightning or fire around you, and some even give you increased experience or help you find better items. You can also find strong boxes. These enigmatic chests guard piles of treasure, but are always a trap. Monsters lie in wait to attack you the moment you open it, and the boxes often have mechanisms to unleash powerful spells or dangerous debuffs. There are
14
different
packs?
types of
That's
strong boxes
huge.
containing different items, and you can even use your currency items to craft them on the fly, so you can optimize the content. But be careful of opening one you can't handle. Sometimes you'll discover monsters frozen in essences, solidified crystalline corruption. These dangerous monsters can be broken free. If you defeat them, the essence they drop can be used to upgrade normal items to magic
So it looks like the
items with
shrines are the same.
guaranteed
That's
mod
like
from a cabinet.
immortality.
For example, we could use this one on some boots to ensure a movement speed mod.
Oh, so it just adds one mod. It doesn't.
Rarely, essences will also drop that allow you to upgrade magics to rares, adding the guaranteed
Oh, okay.
mod.
Cool. Now, does it remove the other mods on it, or does it keep them? Upgrade to
This is incredibly powerful, since it allows you to get a second deterministic mod in your crafting projects.
Oh, that's
Combining these with the
really
currencies
good.
that are commonly found in Rayclast for modifying items, and we can get a very nice pair of boots indeed.
Double res life,
Waystones, like all
movement speed.
items, can
It's pretty
also
solid.
be crafted using your currency items. Adding prefix mods will improve the rewards, while suffix mods increase danger. The more
okay.
dangerous a map is, the more waystones will drop. Adding mods to your waystones is key to progressing to higher tiers and sustaining them, but it will require you to take on larger challenges. There are a variety of factors you'll have to consider when crafting your waystones. Some maps will have higher density, some lower, some have more magic and rare chests, or monsters, some are more linear, and others more open. Make sure you explore and think about what makes certain maps good if you want to maximize your returns. As you cleanse corruption from higher and higher tiers of the Atlas, you will gain points that you can spend in the Atlas tree.
So is this the same as
tree
PoE
allows
1?
you to juice the danger and rewards of all areas in the endgame. You could increase the number
Looks
of
kinda
monsters,
same.
the number of rares, the number of precursor artifacts or strongboxes, even the quantity of item drops. As you explore the endgame world map, you'll notice various different biomes, from snow-capped mountains to dense jungle valleys. Most maps are restricted to certain biomes. As you continue to explore deeper into the Atlas, there are all sorts of things to discover. These cities are
I like
constructed by
this. This is a
different
really
peoples of
cool
Rayclast
idea.
and have specific items that can be found there. These strange structures marked on the map don't appear to do anything for now. Perhaps you'll work out how to use them later. You might
I
find
like-
unique maps like Untainted Paradise, an
Nice.
undisturbed island full of beasts that give an extreme amount of experience.
So there's
You
a
may
lot
even
of
find a
similarities
lonely
between
man
1 and
just
2.
enjoying his retirement, who will give you a unique item for free. In addition, you can find special areas that would make a good spot to set up camp. Clear these areas of their hostile inhabitants, and you'll be able to claim them as your own hideout. You can decorate your hideout as you see fit and invite various NPCs to join you there to create your own personal base of operations. A great tool for exploration are towers. These mysterious precursor constructs are dotted around the Atlas. Completing the tower will reveal a large area around it, allowing you to scout out your next challenge. There are lots of things to find, so keep looking. Some sections of your Atlas are influenced by corruption. This adds extra modifiers to the maps in the region, increasing difficulty and rewards. Here, slaying monsters in close proximity to each other will cause the vestiges of corruption within them to merge together, forming powerful and grotesque abominations. You may have noticed while looking at the Atlas that some of the areas have these icons above them. The icon indicates that the area contains some kind of special encounter. This icon indicates that the area has a powerful boss. Because only 1 in 4 maps contain a map boss, we are able to make them very powerful and very rewarding. These bosses come from the campaign, but have had their difficulty increased with changes to AI and some of their abilities.
Okay, that's at least different, right? Changes the abilities too.
You can choose to take them on or avoid them. If you do choose to hunt bosses though, then you will be rewarded with special points for the boss hunting section of the Atlas skill tree.
Cool. I'm gonna definitely do that.
Allow you to specialize in boss killing, giving you much greater rewards for defeating them. For each different
Dude, that skill looked insane.
Endgame, we are adding specialized trees in order to make it so you don't feel the need to respec your points when you change between different types of content. We will be showing
really
you
awesome.
7 of these by the end of this presentation. So
7. Oh my gosh, dude! The fact that this game has this much content and it's not even halfway done.
The in-game systems.
That's crazy, man.
If you played PoE 1, you might be familiar with Breach. For PoE 2, we have created sequels to several PoE 1 leagues. While the mechanic is familiar, the monsters, bosses, rewards, and progression are all new. A breach is a tear in the fabric of reality. Opening it will allow you to see the demons and otherworldly monstrosities that lie in wait on this other plane of existence. By engaging with a breach, you'll create a bridge between their world and Rayclast. In order to keep the breach open, you will need to kill the demons that pour forth. The faster you can kill the monsters, the more monsters you will fight, and the more loot you will find. You can also find clasped hands that will open and drop more items if you run over them. These can be a good boost to the rewards of the breach, so keep an eye out. One of the rewards that you may find while fighting monsters from Breach are tablets. Tablets are special items that can be used with precursor towers to add more encounters to the Atlas. Breaches will drop breach tablets. Clicking on a completed tower will allow you to consume the tablet to add more breaches to areas within range of the tower. This makes all the content in the Atlas self-sustaining. Want to do more breaches? Find the tablets, add them to your towers, get more breaches, getting more tablets. Soon your Atlas will be covered in otherworldly domains.
I wonder if you could have 2 of them to overlap.
Like
Is that possible?
You can craft them. Use your currency to add mods to your tablets, allowing you to upgrade all the breaches in range. Tablets can have up to 2 mods. These mods do things like adding extra rare monsters, extra clasped hands, or even monster density of breaches, allowing you to keep them open longer. Often you will find multiple towers near to each other with overlapping areas of effect. This can allow you to rarely juice the mechanic by stacking the mods from multiple tablets.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was just saying. That's really cool.
In your fight to hold the breach demons at bay, you may want to use the powers of their world against them. Each in-game mechanic always has player power that can only be gained from that mechanic, and Breach is no different. In Breach you will find catalysts, items that can increase the quality of rings and amulets by improving specific mobs. You can also find Breach Rings, a special base type that can have its quality improved by catalysts up to 50%. In this case, you could create a ring with around 170 life. Breach Rings can become some of the strongest rings in the game, giving you some good motivation to face the demon hordes. In addition, each endgame mechanic needs to have a pinnacle endgame encounter.
Oh, yes.
While killing Breach monsters, you may find Breach Splinters. Collect enough of these and you'll be able to create a Breach Stone. Using a Vaal technology called the Realm Gate, you can use your Breachstone to access their domain and bring the fight to them. In this twisted domain, you will find nothing but a single massive breach. Triggering it will reveal hordes of breach inhabitants.
I really want to know what that skill is.
Should you be fast enough, you will be able to fight their leader, Zesht. We that are one.
I love their pinnacle bosses, man. I like how much endgame they're just showing us. Like, it is crazy how fast they're just showing us content, man.
So you will have to discover them for
Yeah, I like that. I like that too. Like, they don't show everything. So Breach is the hardest content.
That can only be found from them, but that's not all. We still have the progression system. Defeating Zesht will give you points to allocate into the Breach section of the Atlas.
Oh, okay, so...
Allocating these points will make Breaches and the Breach domain even harder, but will give you more rewards. The small nodes will increase the difficulty of the Twisted Domain, while the large nodes have more specific bonuses. For example, this node adds more clasped hands to your Breaches, and adds a pack of magic monsters that can guard them. Get some more points and you can allocate Waking Nightmare, which will double the number of splinters you get from clasped hands, and inflict you with a mysterious debuff. In order to earn more points, you will need to defeat Zesht at a higher difficulty, and some rewards from Zesht can only be found by increasing the difficulty of the Twisted Domain above certain thresholds. Defeating Zesht at difficulty 4 will be a challenge indeed, but there are many more threats in Raid class.
Yeah, one shot.
Ritual altars are sacrificial sites built by the mysterious King in the Mists. If you encounter this symbol on the Atlas, then you know that the area contains ritual altars. Ritual altars demand tribute. Every monster you slaughter in the circle will feed the altar. After the sacrifice, touch it to begin the ritual. The monsters you just killed will be resurrected by the King of the Mist's dark magic, and you must fight to survive. The tribute you have offered to the altar can be spent to buy powerful items, but they can be expensive.
So it's pretty much
To gain more
PoE 1
tribute, you will
as far
want
as
to find
ritual.
more altars. Each successive ritual you do within an area will spawn the monsters revived by the previous ones, in addition to the ones you sacrifice next to it. By the end of an area, you'll be fighting a truly imposing number of foes. But
Dude,
will have a
yeah, that
significant
skill
amount
looks
of
crazy
tribute
OP.
to spend. One of the rewards you can buy with tribute are omens.
Okay.
These are special items that allow for meta crafting. Crafting items that affect other crafting items. Have an item with good prefixes but bad suffixes? This omen will help you to remove the mod you don't want while keeping the ones you do.
Hey,
There
that's
are a bunch more of these
pretty
with
amazing.
different effects, but we will leave them for you to discover. Now don't
Awesome.
forget that Ritual will also drop tablets, which can be used to specialize into getting more rituals. If you want to get to the pinnacle boss of Ritual, then you will probably want to use them. They can also be crafted to grant mods, making your rituals more rewarding. The pinnacle encounter of Ritual is the King in the Mists. Feared by the Asmeri people, he is said to have brought eternal darkness to the Wildwood. We won't show the encounter, but just like Breach, there are a range of unique items you can get for defeating him, and you will gain points in the ritual section of the Atlas tree.
Okay, that's
Some
cool.
maps have been touched by insanity. A mysterious entity has taken a special interest in you. Step through the looking glass and you will find your nightmares coming to life. When you touch a mirror, the mists of delirium will spread out across the area, infecting your mind. You must stay within the mist to maintain the nightmare, which is as profitable as it is terrifying. Everything you kill will increase the rewards that drop. However, the deeper into the mist you travel, the stronger the monsters are. Be careful not to overstay your welcome. Rare and unique enemies will become vessels for terrifying demons, who will manifest out of them to unleash powerful attacks on you. The mist also offers a strange crafting material, distilled emotions. By combining these emotions, you are able to instill your amulet with a notable from the passive skill tree.
Okay, so
This
it's
is
like
gaining
anointing,
an
yeah.
extra passive point for free, attached to your gear. They
Okay.
are also particularly great because you don't have to traverse the tree to get them, allowing you to get off-class bonuses that would normally be much harder to get. Distilled emotions can also be used to instill your endgame maps, applying Delirious to them and adding additional difficulty and rewards, allowing you to further juice your endgame maps. The tablets you can find from Delirium can be used to further improve it, increase pack size, make the fog dissipate slower, or improve your progress towards the pinnacle encounter of Delirium. Speaking of which, every now and then you will find simulacrum splinters. The mysterious entity will create strange encounters based on warped versions of your own memories. Monsters and simulacrums come in waves that get progressively more difficult. You will receive loot at the end of each wave, and you will have to make the decision to leave now or continue on, facing up against even tougher foes from the mist. The bosses you will face as you get deeper into a simulacrum are truly terrifying. If you can complete a simulacrum, you will gain points for the Delirium section of the Atlas skill tree. Next up, we have Expedition. Occasionally, while clearing corruption, you will encounter these Kalguran settlers. The Kalgurans have discovered ancient burial sites with lost Verisium artifacts, and they want you to help dig them up with explosives. The Kalgurans have marked the locations where the relics can be found. Place explosives as best you can to dig up as many as possible. There is just one problem. Corruption has brought the corpses of their ancestors to life, so you might have to do a little cleanup before you can reclaim the artifacts. You can also find remnants, the destruction of which will further anger the restless dead. Each one you blow up will make the subsequent monsters more powerful, but also more rewarding. Danig, Rog, Tujin, and Gwenin will exchange the artifacts for useful items and runic magic.
So yeah, this is basically the same thing that we've already had,
increase
but
the number of expeditions and the rewards. This one increases the radius of explosives, while this one increases the number of remnants you will find. Eventually, you might discover a logbook. These are special maps full of buried treasure and relics. Essentially, one giant dig site.
Look at the
Here,
Tujin
you
ones.
can create an
Those ones are usually the best.
extremely long chain of explosives and go through a very high number of remnants. But be careful. Many remnants have mods that can really brick your build, so you will probably want to avoid these ones. If you add too many remnants, you could easily make the encounter harder than you can handle. There are all sorts of interesting things buried under the ground in logbooks. You might find dripping caves and hidden pirate caches. But the most powerful encounter is Olroth, the ancient undead commander of the Knights of the Sun. Defeating him will grant you unique rewards, as well as points to spend in the expedition section of the Atlas tree. So those are the in-game systems on the Atlas, but we are not done yet.
Oh.
The trials we talked about earlier have much more content when you get to endgame too. Just like the other endgame systems, they also have progression mechanics, unique rewards, and player power that can only be gained from them. As you get higher level coins for the Trial of the Sycamores, you will unlock more floors to explore. Each floor has its own challenging rooms and a floor boss that you will need to kill. There are 4 floors in total, leading to another pinnacle boss at the end of the last floor, which can only be accessed at endgame. The Trial of the Sycamores is where you'll find jewels, which you can socket into your tree. These are like passives that you can craft with your currency items. They can be really powerful as they allow you to stack modifiers that may not be easily accessible on the tree normally. This jewel gives lightning damage and shock chance, for example. There are quite a few jewel sockets on the tree, so it's possible to gain a lot of power.
So are they still having cluster jewels or no?
There are also other types of jewels that don't provide any bonuses themselves, but affect other passives surrounding them. This jewel increases the effect of small nodes and radius by 25%. With careful placement in the tree, you could get a significant amount of power from it. There are also unique jewels available with very interesting effects, but you will have to find those for yourself. In order to push further into the trial and uncover the secrets of the Maraketh, you will want to take advantage of its progression system, relics. Relics are items that can be placed in the relic altar as you start the trial. They give special bonuses that affect the trial, making it easier and increasing its rewards. Of course, you can craft these with your currency items, making them even stronger.
Cool.
If you can complete the entire trial overcoming all 4 floors, the final boss will reward you with one of many unique relics. These relics will be consumed when used on your next run, but can reward you with unique and powerful items. For example, this is the Last Flame. If you use it, you will have only 1 honor for the entire trial, so you will need to do a completely hitless run. The Trial of Chaos also extends into
What was the reward though? I didn't get to see it.
As you gain inscribed ultimatums of higher and higher levels, the number of chambers that you can go through increases. In true Vaal style, this allows you to take even more risks for even more rewards. At endgame, you can progress through up to 10 chambers with 3 bosses on a single run. Stacking 10 tribulations on top of each other will make this a significant challenge, but it's worth it. The Trial Master will tempt you with items of the Vaal Empire, such as Vaal Orbs. Vaal Orbs are powerful crafting items that corrupt your gear with random, mysterious outcomes. Corruption prevents an item from being modified further, so it has to be the last step of your craft. But it's also the most impactful one. For example, if you use one on your body armor, it might add a new powerful enchantment, or it might re-roll up to half of its modifiers. Vaal Orbs also have the ability to add a socket, allowing you to bypass the normal restriction of how many sockets an item can have. A body armor could get up to 3 sockets this way, allowing for a significant number of mods.
That is actually
Vaal
pretty
Orbs
crazy.
Can even modify uniques. Adding enchantments or sockets to uniques can make them incredibly powerful, but there is a good chance that you will break them as well. The Trial Master will also occasionally offer you soul cores. Originally formed by Chaos, the Vaal sought to replicate soul cores through human sacrifice rituals and blood magic to power their civilization. Soul cores are powerful socketable items, with mods that cannot be obtained from regular runes. Like all endgame content, there is of course a pinnacle boss. The final chamber will drop keys to this mysterious door. Some say this is where the Trial Master himself resides.
So double corrupt
Perhaps
it?
you are willing to take the risk to find out. Had enough yet? Because there is still just one more thing. The most difficult
They've shown
content
so
in
much,
Path of
man.
Exile
It's
2.
too crazy.
While mapping, you might come across this fortress that has emerged from underground.
You can still have 6
surrounded
links.
by an enormous maze riddled with danger.
Basically, the
Is
gems, you
maze
just socket
preventing
the
something
supports
from
in the
getting
gems.
in, or something getting out? This fortress is of ancient origin, and its construction has similarities to the towers and tablets that you have been using on your journey through the endgame. It is clear from the entrance that there are 3 keys required to enter. Local factions are vying for access to the fortress in order to seize the power they believe will be inside. Each of the faction's leaders have managed to get their hands on one of the keys, so you will need to defeat them. Each faction is led by an Uber-Act boss. You can see one of them inhabiting the city, but in order to fight him, you will first need to defeat their 2 lieutenants in the adjacent zones. Be careful. If you fail against either of the lieutenants, or to kill the leader, they will move on, and you will need to find them again. Kill all the Uber bosses and you will gain access to the fortress. We aren't going to spoil it as we can't wait to see you guys attempt
Yeah,
it
dude,
for
I
the
think
first
that's
time.
respect,
But is there
man.
a
That's
tree
so
you get
cool.
points in after killing it? Of course there is. This is Path of Exile. There is always another tree.
So these are your challenges for PoE 2.
Dude, that's
As you can
crazy.
see, this project is crazy huge.
Yeah, it
Way
is.
bigger than even we expected when we started out. But how do you gain access? Well, during early access, you'll need a key to get in.
I'm gonna make this a
Find
separate
our
part.
Existing PoE supporters who have spent more than $480 will be giving you guys a key for the PC version for free.
Okay.
Anyone else who wants
Supporter
one, can get one
packs.
by purchasing one of the new early access supporter
So this is
packs
how
that have
you
just
get
been
into
released
Path
to
of
the
Exile
store.
2.
If you just want early access to PoE 2, then you can get a key in the $30 early access pack. The pack also comes with $30 of points to spend in the MTX store. But we also have a variety of other supporter packs filled with exclusive microtransactions, points to spend in the store, and even physical items. The cosmetics can be used right now in PoE 1 and in Path of Exile 2 when early access starts.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Most of this footage has been recorded in Path of Exile 1, since that's where you can use them immediately. The Lord of Ogham supporter pack contains a cosmetic armor set befitting of the Count of Ogham himself. There is also a matching back attachment which has an alternate variant depicting the influence of corruption. Also in this pack you can find a portal formed of the rusted armor of the fallen soldiers in the Red Vale of Ogham, and the offspring of a vicious crowbell boss found in the hunting grounds. This one doesn't look so vicious though. On top of that, you'll receive the Iron Count's Zweihander to apply to your one-handed or two-handed swords. For those who are wanting to decorate your hideouts with fond memories and tales of Path of Exile's history, you will also get a series of hideout statues. This pack contains the statue of Hillock. For Path of Exile 1's closed beta, each pack contained a true New Zealand icon, the Kiwi. Following this tradition, all packs in this series will also contain a new themed Kiwi pet. The pet will loyally follow you into battle, but run away at the first sign of trouble. Become the ruler of the desert with the King of the Faradin supporter pack. Show your mastery of traversing the sands of the Vasteri Plains.
Okay, so they're going to talk about this, but I think this is kind of important. So, just as a heads up, PoE 2, as far as I'm aware of, it's still listed on the official Xbox store as a free game. Now, if you want to get access to the early access, it's $30, or if you've spent, I believe it's $480 in the game in general. There's no pay to win in the game as far as I can tell. It's just cosmetics that you're getting. Now, if you spend the $30, you get $30 in-game credit also in the game, which could let you get like extra storage and stuff. So it's kind of a gray area with extra storage, but for the most part, you don't have to pay for the game, and there's no pay to win. Just so we're clear here, because I know it's going to be asked consistently in the comments. And I saw one person saying that PoE 2 costs money, and that's not the case. It's not pay to win. It's just if you want to access the early access, you will have to pay for that.
Moving entire city
Let's continue.
fortress
Just so there's no confusion here.
Travel across the Vasteri plains. And
Since they're just
Exile, you
showing
can
off
decorate
skins,
your
I figured
hideout however you like.
I'd tie it in
There's
because
no
it's like,
restriction
it's
here.
relevant,
It comes
right?
with a variety of thematic elements to use, or use decorations from
Yeah,
elsewhere in the game.
so you can get decorations for free, and there are also
Additionally, you'll
decorations
get
that you
the
can
Deshret's
pay,
Blessing level
but it
up.
doesn't do anything in the game, other than it looks like it's a visual thing.
The King of the Faradin Kiwi Pet. And last but not least, a statue depicting the Vile Oversoul from Path of Exile 1. For those who don't know how supporter packs work, each pack comes with all of the cosmetics from the previous tier, so you'll get all the items from the Lord of Ogham supporter pack as well.
But some of these supporter packs, they go
Thaumaturge of
crazy
the
in
Vile
price,
supporter pack features an
like
armor
hundreds
set
of
and
dollars.
back attachment
But again,
themed
no
around the Vile
advantage.
and their
Okay.
pursuit of science and progress. You can find the Soul Core weapon effect in this pack, which causes thaumaturgic energy harnessed from sacrifice to spill from your weapon. This pack also contains Doryani's Idol. It replaces the default appearance of any foci to an ancient relic once used by Doryani, and this can be applied to shields in Path of Exile 1. That's not the only Vile weapon you'll find. It also contains the Wand of the Thaumaturge skin.
I don't know if
And the
there's
Royal
gonna be an
Sacrifice
open
skin.
access. I don't know.
You wouldn't think
To
to put
answer your question.
sacrificial gems on a Kiwi, but the Vile did. Thaumaturge of the Vile supporters will receive the Thaumaturge of the Vile Kiwi Pet. And the Statue of Dominus. This is also the first pack in the series with a physical item. When purchasing this pack, you'll receive a Path of Exile 2 logo t-shirt. But if you don't want one, you can opt out and return for additional points to spend in the store. Becoming a Warlord of the Karui supporter will grant you an armor
Almost looks
set
like an
and
orc.
back attachment adorned in jade carvings and iridescent feathers resembling power. Enough to even impress the ancestral gods, specifically Tukohama, the Karui god of war.
Oh, and this is
Overkill, you
PoE
say?
1 right now
I
that they're
think the
showing.
Karui people would disagree. Why not drop a gigantic totem on rare enemies you slay to crush them to a pulp? Replace your crafting bench in your hideout with the Ancestral Canoe crafting bench, where Ancestral Chief Mata will summon a giant canoe manned by Karui warriors to aid in your crafting desires.
We must all start somewhere.
You'll also get a pair of weapon skins.
The axe?
Equip Akoya's Felling Axe skin to your one-hand or two-handed axes, or Tukohama's Crusher to your one-handed or two-handed maces. A true Karui warlord is always accompanied by their trusty Kiwi. Equipped with armor and harnessing ancestral magic, they make the perfect sidekick. Once one of the most feared beings in Rayclast, Malachi was slain by a powerful exile. May the statue commemorate the virtue of exiles past, present, and of the future. Of course, it's not all about dressing up in game. You'll want to look good in real life too. By becoming a Warlord of the Karui supporter, you'll also get a Path of Exile 2 hoodie. Our final tier of supporter pack in this series is the Liberator of Rayclast supporter pack. The Liberator of Rayclast armor set and back attachment come made with the finest materials in Rayclast, and shattered glass mosaics suspended in divine power. Set up your base of operations in the Beacon of Salvation hideout. Why restrict yourself to just one island when you can liberate more? The Beacon of Salvation hideout comes equipped with your own collection of small islands and personal operators of boats that you can use to row between.
That's kind of cool.
Just walk to the piers, pick a boat to enter, and navigate as you choose. Decorate each island as you see fit to best represent your well-earned hideout. Everyone in your hideout could use their own boat. Why not have some races? You can also get the Window to Twilight portal effect, a beautiful mosaic piece of art that shatters and reveals a gateway to your desired destination as you approach it. As you walk away, the glass magically reforms back to its original form.
Yeah, so
Rule
$30
inside
bucks
the
will
throne
get you
of the
access to
ruler
it.
map device. Sure, this map device can create portals to in-game maps, but it also comes with a throne you can sit on to oversee your growing kingdom. Look down on the plebeians running your maps. Being the Liberator, though, is not just about sitting on your throne all day. If you do decide to join the fight yourself, you can leave a High Priest in charge as your second in command. Liberator of Rayclass supporters will also get a set of varied weapon skins. The Light of Divinity Scepter skin, the Deliverance Crossbow skin, the Justice Flail skin, and the Redemption Shield skin.
But if you buy any of these,
Once
you
again, you'll
should
have
get
the Conquering
access
Kiwi,
to the thing.
and of
But
course a statue depicting one of the most iconic
I'm
events.
probably go to the
in
website
Rayclass's
right now.
history. The battle between a powerful Exile and Kitava, the Insatiable. With the help of two deities, Sin and Innocence, the Exile was able to defeat him once and for all. This supporter pack also contains the Path of Exile 2 art book. This 215-page full-color art book includes a huge amount of amazing concept art and lore produced during the long and exciting journey of Path of Exile 2's development. And finally, Path of Exile has a tradition of letting the community participate in designing game features. For Path of Exile 2, we'll be adding the Twilight Order Foil Reliquary. By becoming a Liberator of Rayclass
I'm sure it's on
supporter,
the...
once Path of Exile 2 is released, you will be able to select any unique item you have found and be able to drop it from the Reliquary. Once players have submitted their items, keys to the Reliquary will start dropping, and other players will be able to find foil versions of uniques that you have submitted, along with a message for the lucky player. The more players submit the same unique, the more chances there will be for the Reliquary to drop them, so choose wisely.
Oh, wait, what?
Now, almost all of these items
Everyone select
right now.
Headhunter Mage
There are a
Fly.
few exceptions where the item class clearly doesn't exist, such as crossbows or flails. And there are also a few microtransactions on weapon types that are unavailable in PoE 2 at the start of early access. Once classes that use those weapon types are added, those microtransactions will be available to use.
Okay, cool.
If you can't decide which supporter pack to choose yet, you can always start with the early access supporter pack that just includes a key and some points to spend in the store. Then you can upgrade to any of the following tiers at a later date. These supporter packs will be available for purchase
Actually,
throughout
I would
early
want
access.
Squire. That's the one item I
We'd really
never
like to thank you for your
get to
ongoing support.
use.
Without you guys, Path of Exile 2 could not have happened. Now, I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions.
Okay, so
stick around. because
Q&A.
coming up next, we
Okay,
have a live
so
Q&A
I guess
with Ziggy D.
it was kind of a how to get access. It was basically you spend $30, and then you can get access with the game. Now I'll pop it up on screen real quick. So yeah, if you want to get early access to it, it's just this. This is all you need to do. I'll link it. It's just pathofexile.com/purchase. That's what you get. You get 300 coins. That's it. And you also get the digital soundtrack.
To the post-show discussion.
Okay,
and
so
Q&A.
I'm gonna go ahead and mute this right now because this is like the point of this is to show off the stuff. So again, everything that they showed off over here, you can see what the price is. Some of these are very expensive. You can see $480 will get you it, and then this one over here, there's other like supporter packs, but the one that you actually want, which is basically what everyone wants, they just want to know like, yo, just that one. But the other one, does this one not come with the key for the thing? So it does not come with it. So make sure it's not this $30 one that you get, it's the other one. But yeah, these are the other skins that you can acquire if you decide to go ahead and get it. But yeah, you basically have to buy it. Now, there was like a beta sign up. So if you're like, yo, I don't have the $30, check your email if you signed up. There was like a link before. I don't know if it still exists over here, but as far as I'm aware of, there was like a sign up, so you may have access to it. There was like a survey that went out. I actually had one in my email, so I might actually be able to get access without it. But if you don't, well, you're just gonna have to buy one. Okay, so that'll hopefully answer the question of how you get early access to Path of Exile and what the cosmetics are. So those are the cosmetics that you can get, and I'm sure there's gonna be a lot more, but that's just what was shown off at the moment. So, anyways, that's how you can get access to it. It's kind of simple, but I figure we'll show off the skins as well. All right, so now as far as Q&A goes,
so that's kind of
I don't really care too much about like hearing about Q&A. If there is something cool, what I plan to do, guys, I'm gonna mute this. What I plan to do is I'm gonna actually upload all of them. So if you guys maybe tuned in a little bit later here, we're gonna be dropping the video of all the gameplay, all the classes, all the ascendancies, basically the super class, the upgrade class. I'll show you guys all of that. If you guys missed out on it, it'll be up on my YouTube. My YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch are all the exact same. So if you guys want to see that, we just also covered Season 7 of Diablo, but I'm going to go ahead and start editing all these, and I'm going to upload all the stuff that you guys want to know really, really soon. But anyways, thank you so much. The release date, to answer your question, no one knows, but December 6th is the release date of the early access, and it is $30 to get in, but you may also be able to get in for free if there's beta codes, because I know that I signed up for the beta, and I don't know if we got access to it, but there was a email, so check your email, because there's a secondary email that you also have to like confirm, and then you maybe can get in. but more than likely you're going to have to spend $30. And I don't think that's that bad. Maybe some competition with Diablo 4 will improve. You know, Paul, I would be honest, the state of the game, I want to say that like there's just so much more content in Path of Exile. I want Diablo 4 to obviously get good. This season is literally the new Season 7 is literally Season 2 repeated. But there's also those little things that you can throw in. It's basically a combination of Season 1 and 2. They're like, okay, well, you can socket in these things that give you some extra numbers. Is that interesting? No. There's no newer forms of endgame, no new pinnacle boss. That's what I wanted to see. Honestly, I was really hyped up with Diablo 4's announcement, but there's no, like, new boss. Like, at the end of the day, am I just going to be doing Pit again? It looks like it, but who knows? We'll see on the next one. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Really appreciate it. If you're new here, if you're watching this on TikTok, pink plus in the middle right, click on that. If you're watching this on Twitch, Purple Heart, YouTube, hit subscribe, and I'm going to be dropping all the videos very, very soon. But thanks for stopping by, guys. Really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys later. We're probably going to be playing Diablo later tonight, but I got to get all these videos edited, and this way you guys will have them ready, and I'll put timestamps and stuff, so it's going to be easy for you guys. But anyways, take care. TikTok, it was fun. GG's. It was really fun, man. I'm so hyped up about Path of Exile, to be honest, more than anything. But I'm still looking forward to Diablo as well. But we'll see, man. Anyways, GG's. I'll see you guys later. We'll be uploading.